Hello, everybody. Pop culture curator here. I'm so excited. This is a little spontaneous, so I hope some of you can join us. I hope you get the alerts. Sometimes YouTube doesn't seem to be very reliable when it comes to that area. And the first thing I want to do, I want to welcome the other people on my panel here. Tony, so good to see you, aka Stark of Iron. How are you doing, Tony?
I'm doing quite well. I just got back from a wedding where I serviced $1,500 worth of alcohol to the reception and had to behave myself. I only had a few drinks. I am
Oh,
well within my boundaries to be able to
well, within
swing
your
the fine
established
gentleman tonight.
parameters.
Yes. So, yes, I am here and I am feeling good.
All right. Well, I'm glad you could join me. I really appreciate that. And I wanted to say hello to Captain Finity. Captain Finity, are you there? How's your internet doing, sir?
Paging Mr. Herman. Mr. Herman, you have a telephone call.
Uh, he's been having trouble with his internet lately, but we're patient, Captain. We're ready whenever you are. I hope it works for you. That's too bad. We need to try to get a GoFundMe together and try to get our own satellite launched just for New Zealand to go up there so Captain Finity can have some internet. This is not fair at all.
Whenever I stopped living in a nuclear wasteland that was once New York before I decided to get bomb happy, I'll be the first to launch a satellite for the good captain.
Absolutely, he deserves it, and we'll make sure that he's the only one that has access to it, so that he has full bandwidth capabilities. He does say in the private chat, "Bear with me as my connection stabilizes." Well, we're very patient, Captain. We're ready when you are.
Mm-hmm. And there he went.
And there he goes, but I'm sure he'll be back. If you're watching this on the rerun, today is Thursday, March 23rd, which marks 2023, which marks this officially William Shatner's 92nd birthday. God bless the man. He's still going strong. He still looks fantastic. He loves his fans. He's still doing appearances. Everything that I wish I could possibly do at that age. I mean, I've got to give the man credit. He has earned everything he has. And he has such a following. So many people love him that it's incredible. And the good thing is that he's troll proof. So many people have gone after him on Twitter, social media, tried to break him down, and it never works. He can see through it every time, and he wins every single time. So, hats off to you, William Shatner, aka Captain Kirk. I know you never watched this lonely little stream here, but from a fan who watched you since I was a kid, and truly amazed by the talent and the acting range. And I'm not talking about just Star Trek, but I'm talking about Twilight Zone, all the other movies he's done, the TV shows. The man has such a range that I love it. I mean, you can never get bored. He's got a whole lifetime worth of work that we could always enjoy. All this woke garbage and crap they're making on TV now. Just go back and watch anything classic with William Shatner in it, and I think you'll be amazed and amused. And Tony,
Yes.
I was going to say, Tony, I don't know if I need to make you. I was going to say if you could put your link to your channel in the chat, but I don't know if you have the capabilities to do that.
I don't have a spanner attached to my name, but at the very least, I can.
Or if not, you can say something in the chat, and I'll make you a wrench that'll give you the access to
the ability to do so. Indeed.
Yeah, I usually like for fellow panelists here to be able to promote their channels. I know this isn't much of a promotional platform because I don't have a lot of viewers, but I figure I was always willing to help.
We're here to venerate the immortal Captain James Tiberius Kirk. We're not here to spread channels. We're here to.
That's right.
Let's see here. Oh, what the?
Hello, Herc 130. So good to see you. I'm glad you could join us.
Hail, Herc 130. Good to see you too, my friend.
Yeah.
Well, man. you're gonna get the spaghetti link because my handle is less than ideal. But then, now that you have the spaghetti link, I am hoping that can resolve.
Yeah, I'd like to be able to have you promote your channel. And the same with Herc. And I don't know if Herc has a channel yet or not. Herc, if and when you do
Herc
get your, yeah, when you get
130
Herc 130, if
has
you if go ahead.
he has a massive archive, a massive vault of yet to assemble models. So if he were to ever
Wow.
get a channel off of the ground, just doing live streams of making models all day long would be something that he could do and
Wow, that
do
would be
so
great.
well.
I would love to see that. I'd love that kind of stuff. He'd get along great with Sean Carter on here too. He's another
Oh yeah.
great model maker.
Xanadu veterans, one and all.
And Herc, if you do get your channel up and running, let me know, and I'll make you a wrench so you can promote it in the channel, or send me the link and I'll put it out there. Also,
where are you? Let's see. Klobby's open, so that's taking some of our viewers. Obviously, Steve is open. That's taking a lot of our viewers. You chose to stop this moment in time, but you know what? We're gonna ride that walrus.
I know. I had a feeling there was probably a lot of people. Who else did you?
We're gonna see this through. I chose you simply because I feel more like talking than typing.
Because I know Jill was saying she's busy tonight, so I figured it was probably Klobby or Doomcock.
Yeah, she's probably with Klobby tonight.
Yeah. Did you see what Herc said? Herc said, let me highlight this in the chat because this is amazing. Herc says, oh, did you see that? Didn't you, Tony, PCC? I have about 950 unbuilt kits. My goodness, enough to last a lifetime. Seriously. Yeah, Herc, when are you going to get that channel up and running so we can see all this? And Herc said, no, I was like visiting with you guys. One day I will start a channel. Well, Herc, if there's any advice, anything you need, I'm not an expert, but I'm willing to offer what little I know. And there, excuse me. Okay.
I did some thingamabobs and whatchamacallits, and here we are. Yeah, Klobby has such a stacked schedule. It's kind of hard not to stream against him, unfortunately.
Yeah, he's usually always on. You are now a moderator, sir, so if you'd like to put any links in the chat, please feel free to do so. There
it is.
All right, let me highlight that. Okay, everybody. So if you're there watching this live, or if you're watching this on a rerun, either way, please check out Tony's channel. He's an amazing man, and he does amazing impersonations. Very, very, very entertaining. I highly recommend him.
Some of which I might provide here tonight at no extra cost.
Okay. I will spare everybody. I will not try to do William Shatner because I'm not that good, and I don't want to insult the man on his birthday.
Character Enterprise.
Captain Finity says lurking.
James Tiberius Kirk. Captain's log. Stardate. I don't remember. I left my toupee and girdle, and I'm locked in my room. I addressed Science Officer Spock. I said to him, where is my toupee specifically? And he said, well, I apologize, Captain, but it seems that when we shot the tribbles out of the airlock, your toupee was unfortunately with them. God damn it, Spock. How could you do that to me? That was very uncouth of you.
Hey, Lemon Pie. So good to see you. Glad you could join us.
Good to see you.
And Herc says, Captain Finity, time, please. What does your business card say? God, that was funny. And Herc says, hail Lemon Pie. Always great to see you. Captain Finity says, Tamius Maximus. Yeah, in fact, I wanted to do that. Let me see if I could share some little pics of our favorite. By the way, I wanted to mention everybody, I did put a poll in the chat asking about your favorite Star Trek captain. It is just a joke. Where I wrote in there saying your opinion does not matter because anybody that knows me that all opinions matter. So that's just strictly a joke.
I'll have you know that Captain Janeway was the best captain.
I know, right? Use your voice to wear down the enemies, right?
Tuvok, explain why she's so obnoxious logically.
There's cigarettes and coffee in that nebula. That's why. And Captain says, recognition at last. Temporal top dog. And Herc says, temporal top dog. First class. Absolutely. Always on my channel, everybody's top dog. But does that make you a top dog if everybody's top dog? I don't know. If everybody's special, are you special?
23rd of March 2023.
That's Jarvis telling me I got about 2 hours to hang out.
You got 2 hours to hang out. What happens in 2 hours? Does
I go
Jarvis
to
explode?
bed. No, I
Gotta
go to bed because I have to be up for Comic-Con tomorrow.
Oh yeah, you got to be nice and rested. Let's. Why don't you share with everybody about Comic-Con what you were telling me in the backstage?
I plan on Kevin Smith is going to be there at this particular podunk little town Comic-Con here in central Kentucky, and I'm going to be hopefully putting my phone in my shirt pocket and walking up there and mentioning He-Man in casual conversation and fishing for reacts, and that's going to be my first official YouTube short for the fun and profit of it.
Yeah, please ask him to cry for us, like he always does.
It's like, seriously, I should bring a coffee mug and be like, listen, I'm thirsty. Can you tell me how good the Last Jedi was? I'm kind of parched.
Tell me how much of a triumph it was, huh?
Tell me how much you loved Captain Marvel. I want you to bleed for me.
Right. He'll probably have guards around him just to keep people away.
Yeah. And I expect to be escorted thusly out. Hello, Cardinal Sin in the chat. How are you doing?
Hello, Cardinal Sin. Good to see you. And Herc130 says, hey, guys, we are going through a major storm for the next few hours. We're all safe, but I might lose my connection. Well, sorry to hear that, Herc.
Be safe.
Hunker down. Yeah, be safe. If you disappear, we'll understand why. But thank you for... Go ahead.
I told him, it says, use sandbags and make sure that nobody calls out for Chanticleer because you might get the Duke.
And then Pi says, Herc, cheers. Cardinal Sin, hail, pop culture creator, and Tony Stark. Good to see you, Cardinal. And everybody, we are here to celebrate once again the great, fantastic William Shatner's birthday. So sorry to disappoint, but he's not here with us to enjoy it. It's just right. It's just us. I'm sure the man is slightly busy today with lots of celebrations, lots of congratulations and salutations. But from a distance, this lonely little channel can salute the man way up above and say thank you for being an inspiration, like a second father to me. In fact, more of a father than I ever had. I probably knew Captain Kirk more than I did my own father. I think my
who beat the
what's that?
It says, hail the man who beat the Kobayashi Maru.
That's right. And I think my two biggest TV dads were William Shatner and John Robinson from Lost in Space. I think that I found great influence in them. They taught me how to be a good person, how not to deceive, how not to lie, how to treat everybody fairly and with admiration. And it means a lot to me. You don't see strong male characters like that on TV anymore, and I really, really miss it. Herc130 says, there he is. Hail to the original at Cardinal Sin. Yes, hail to Cardinal Sin. And did you let me copy this over here? And I know you already did it, Tony, but I see your post in the private chat. I'm going to post it again just to make sure we post it. There we go, everybody. There is a link. And go back to comments, switch back. I'm still kind of getting caught up on this. Lemon Pie says, Captain. And Lemon Pie says, hello, Cardinal Sin. And there is a link there. Please check out that link, everyone. I think you'll find it fascinating. Please sub to Tony, or I believe Tony, is your channel called Stark of Iron still currently?
The channel is called Stark of Iron, but my friends still know me as Tony Stark. And I mean,
okay,
if it's unofficial, official, the mouse really can't dig its fangs into my neck, at least not as tightly. So
nasty mouse.
Yes.
Oh boy, looks like I got myself another lawsuit.
Oh, another one on top of another one on top of another one.
I have to interject, Mickey. He has no money. What are you talking about? He says he's Tony Stark. I know he's loaded.
Oh, he's loaded, but it may not be with money, right? And Herc says, my TV dad was Fred Flintstone. He taught me how to yabba dabba do with the best of them. I'm not going to argue that, Tony. Herc, I watched, I loved. In fact, what's interesting is the Flintstones. I love the dynamic of Fred and Barney because I'm a big fan going back to Laurel and Hardy and then the Honeymooners. And then we got the Flintstones. And then we got Gilligan and Skipper on Gilligan's Island. So I just love that dynamic with basically the fat man and the skinny man. It's such a classic. Done right, it can just go on for decades, and it's very, very timeless, at least in my opinion. If you're watching this on the rerun, I hope you enjoy yourself. This is my channel. This is one of my random streams.
Mm-hmm.
So it's an open topic tonight. So anybody's welcome. If you're here in the chat, you're welcome to bring up any subject you'd like to talk about. There's a link down there if you'd like to join us in the panel.
By all means.
Everybody's welcome. Like I said, it's just a joke in the poll where I said nobody's opinion matters, because in my book, everyone's opinion matters, and I always accept everyone. One thing I do not like is an echo chamber. So the more opinions, the better. Even if they are ones I disagree with, I respect them at all times. Herc130 says, one day, pow, right to the moon, Alice. Yeah, can you imagine a remake of that these days?
Alice.
Right. Yeah, remake of that these days, I don't think that's going to happen. But, certain things need to be left alone. I'm sure you guys heard about the Back to the Future, right?
What's happening with BTTF?
Stage musical.
I saw bits and pieces of that, and I still feel like his Christopher Lloyd requires work.
Yeah, let's start with replacing the guy playing Christopher Lloyd. But I don't know. It's just me. It's so hard.
On stage, it's like going and watching an ice show. That's not going to be the actual actor down there on the skates. You know what I mean?
They have pictures. They have pictures of the guy who's playing him and the whole cast. There's pictures already out of the whole cast.
Yeah.
But I guess he looks too young. I picture, even though Christopher Lloyd was kind of young and they made him look older than he actually was for the movie, this guy playing Doc, seriously looks like he's in his early 20s. So it's just, I think they should, I don't know, maybe spend a little more time casting. But let's just say there's a lot of modern audience shoved in. I'll put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know who gave them the okay. I don't know if it was Bob Zemeckis or Bob Gale. But I remember, I'm sure we've all heard that they said that they would never let or allow a remake or a sequel to Back to the Future as long as they lived, but somehow miraculously we're getting a musical out of it. So,
we'll in the subject of Back to the Future, there are 2 unofficial sequels out there, and one of which is the now very long decommissioned Back to the Future ride. From
Universal which I actually rode. Yes, I rode that a couple times. Yes.
Yes. And then the second is a Telltale decision-making game that came out for PC, Xbox One, and PlayStation 4.
I had that as well.
And you have the best. I thought I had a good Marty McFly, but this impersonator has Marty down to a T. And of course, they reprised the role of Emmett Brown to Christopher Lloyd for the game, and he didn't phone them in. I thought he was going to phone them in, but he was definitely very eccentric and very wild as Doc Brown is. And so whenever I played through that game, I thoroughly enjoyed it. And
when I played it, if I remember right, they were selling it in chapters.
Yes.
And I bought the first 2 or 3 chapters, and then it wasn't available. And then a few years later, the whole game was available.
Mm-hmm.
I bought it, and the next thing you know, it wasn't playable anymore because they lost the license. So it was kind of a bad experience for me.
Yeah.
I was never able to play it till the end.
I have a copy that came out before they nixed the license, so I still have rights of contract for it. So maybe I should replay it. Maybe I should stream and replay it for everybody's enjoyment. Maybe that might be a thing.
I think that'd be a good idea. You probably get a lot of viewers. I don't even think a lot of people are aware that it even existed.
I enjoyed the alternate 1985 where the principal's mother married Doc, basically pulled him away from Frankenstein in 1939 and made him into a social scientist rather than a scientist. And by the time that Marty got back to 1985, it was basically a Big Brother gated community that issued out demerits. Think like San Angeles in Demolition Man.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
It's very similar to San Angeles, where if you even cuss, you get demerits for it. And then, he was known as the Doctor, and his name wasn't even there. Like no, it was Citizen Brown. Citizen Brown will see you now. Yeah. And
sounds dystopian.
yeah. Everybody was known as citizens, with him being the face of the citizenry. To really hammer home that 1984 experience. There are walkthroughs on YouTube, but if you don't want to spoil yourself, let me do a little tinkering and see if I can't put that on screen, and I'll obviously provide some Rick and Morty and my own Doc and Marty commentary to the mix to make it as not as concrete as other streams have released the game. The game's now like 6 or 7 years old, so I think I'm in the clear for that.
Oh, okay. I thought it was older than that, but you're probably right.
Yeah.
And let's not forget there was a short-lived cartoon of Back to the Future.
There was, and I remember the McDonald's toys for that. I think I still have the DeLorean, but the Flint grinder in the back is well worn out, so it ain't sparking.
Not sparking anymore.
Yeah, it ain't sparking no more. But yeah.
Hello, LDG. So good to see you. Welcome to the stream, LDG. I know it was a last-minute thing, but we're here to say happy birthday to William Shatner. And LDG says, hey, bud. Hope you're doing well, LDG. I know it's a little late for you. Sorry I didn't start streaming until 11:45 your time? 10:45? I think 10:45. So I know it's late for LDG. So bless you, man. I know
it's 11:13 here.
Okay. Yeah, and we're going on almost a half hour ago.
Yeah.
And so I think it's 11:13, I believe, for LDG. The man's on the East Coast somewhere. So thank you for being here, LDG. And I know I've said it before and I'll say it again, but please say hello to Yvette for me when you see her tomorrow. I know she's definitely asleep by now. Yeah, I'm going to bed soon. I'll be listening, says LDG. So,
well, thank you for the one full view, and we hope that we provide you the background radio entertainment you need to lull yourself off into your primary REM cycle. Thank you.
Right. Hopefully we're boring enough where you'll be out in no time.
And now with sports.
Right, we'll try not to be too exciting. No climaxes here, right? So, I also want to mention too that I really, really enjoy William Shatner from the Twilight Zone. That him and writer Richard Matheson had a great relationship. Richard Matheson knew how to really write for William Shatner. So, of course, he was in some of the most iconic and best Twilight Zone episodes that are still fan favorites even to this day. And I was a big fan of Richard Matheson. I was hooked. When I grew up and I saw those episodes, I thought, oh, those are great episodes. They really stand up above and beyond all the other ones. And then once I saw The Incredible Shrinking Man, I was like, oh, my goodness. So when I saw that name, Richard Matheson, I was enamored. So I got all his books. I bought every book that he ever wrote, and I read them, some of them more than once. So I have to recommend Richard Matheson as a writer, anybody. Mm-hmm. Or if you're a reader, sci-fi, horror, mystery, anything like that. Richard Matheson is the man to go to. He inspired Stephen King, among many others. I'm not a big fan of Stephen King. I don't want to insult anybody or hurt any feelings. But if you look at any interview with Stephen King, and they ask him where his inspirations came from, the names that he lists off, those are the people that I read. Lovecraft, Richard Matheson, Poe, and things like that, and Bradbury. So I'll just stick with the masters rather than have somebody kind of give me their own renditions of them. So, but that's my personal opinion. Richard Matheson, if anybody's heard of the great horror movie called The Legend of Hell House from 1974 with Roddy McDowell,
Good
Richard,
movie.
it's a good movie, and it's based on Richard Matheson's book, which is even better than the movie. There was a lot in the book they were not able to show in the movie, as usual. You know how it usually goes. So, if you're ever able to, please check out the book, The Legend of Hell House. Also, check out the book, The Shrinking Man, which they turned into the movie, The Incredible Shrinking Man. I'll be covering that soon on my horror stream on Tuesday nights. All right, Herc130 says, "Hey Tony, I don't mean to be Bellabar this, but I enjoy hearing you. I hope I pronounced right, Bellabar this.
Belabor.
Belabor this, but I enjoy hearing you clean and coherent, funny, quick-witted. Keep doing what you are doing. Perfect. Thank you, Herc.
Grazie. Mi bien.
I can't believe I'm not familiar with that word. Interesting.
Belabor. To beat a dead horse. To return to form that has already been closed. Belabor.
Thank you. Well, yeah, it's funny because I have heard it before in the past, but it's the first time I've seen it written down.
Aye.
So yeah, thank you.
Well, I
Thank you for
appreciate that compliment, and I hope that I'm entertaining you tonight.
that. Sounds like Herc's having a good time.
Mm-hmm.
And also, are you familiar with William Shatner's mid-70s movie Kingdom of the Spiders?
I've heard it whenever I was on Cardinal Sin's channel, but I have yet to watch it in person. But he did mention it, so that is on the to-do docket.
Well, I will be covering it on my horror sci-fi stream on Tuesday night soon, where we will do a complete and thorough review of it. If you're welcome,
I
to be there
have
if you'd
to
like
watch it from Monday through Thursdays. I work 10-hour shifts that go through
Ooh,
just about all primary stream time hours of those
Gotcha.
subsequent days. And so for any video or stream that I watch, I have no choice. I have to put the tape in and rewind it. I can't just be there because I can't have my phone on the floor because I work for the Veterans Association, and B,
Uh-huh.
I can't. It's like by the time I get home, the only thing I want to do is go to bed. So
Obviously, especially after a 10-hour shift, I don't blame you.
But I mean, to get Friday through Sunday off by default. The only reason why I'm off tonight and on here with you at this hour is because I put PTO into bartend for a wedding. And then I was like, well, I got a few hours. And then you posted the StreamYard link, and I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? And so you caught me at a very rare time for me to be available, as in it is almost non-existent.
Well, I appreciate it very much because it gives me someone to talk to when I opened up the stream. I wasn't sure how long it was going to last. If it's me by myself, it usually tends to be relatively short. Nobody wants to hear me just ramble on by myself. But if somebody else is here, then it tends to last a little longer. So thank you for taking out time to be
Let's get
here.
some collective view time. Let's go for an hour or so. Let's entertain these
I will do my best. And also, I wanted to mention William Shatner did a movie that is very difficult to find. I'm still not able to obtain it, but I saw it at the drive-in when it was new, and it was made. It came out in 1974, and it was a movie called Impulse. And it was actually a murder thriller where he was a murderer. He was a gigolo, and he was killing the women that he was taking advantage of.
Hey, no refunds.
I know, and I swear, I don't know if the man bought every copy so we can't find it, or maybe it just wasn't successful, but I have not been able to obtain it anywhere, and it's really bad. It's too bad because when I was a kid growing up, when I saw it, I was a big Star Trek fan already, so obviously it was a treat to see William Shatner as a killer. You don't get the man in that kind of light very often, except I guess unless you watch him on Columbo, right?
I mean, he's a dramatic actor, and so any role that he the thing about Kirk, or I should say Shatner, the thing about, I mean, he acts like Kirk in every role he does because he's got a default modus operandi, and it because it has that exaggerant methodology to it. He's very like a dramatic buzz here and the punchline there, gonna kill you. You know, like in the like how he also has very good motion with his eyes. Now, or in his earlier instances, his eyebrows waggle because that's the new actor syndrome. Whenever you're a new actor, you're not professional yet, and you're trying to emphasize emotion. I don't know if you can see my eyebrows right now, where I'm just an avatar, but the eyebrows raise and lower with the speech as they tried to emphasize a dramatic emotion. But after he got past that, which that was quite literally after the diner episode of Twilight Zone, but he fell back into it a little bit during the Gremlin episode. But then after that, he started to really clean his face up a little bit, but he kept the eyes. And whenever he widens his eyes and really drives home something dramatic, whether it's good or bad, like, Khan! You see it. You see the veins in his forehead. You see his neck tense up, and you see his eyes literally bulge out of their sockets to drive in the amount of emotion he's trying to convey. And I'm glad he never got rid of that. Now, a lot of like elitist actors will be like, oh, that's new actor syndrome, blah, 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 blah. That's the Academy, blah, 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 blah. It's a charm. And the fact that he has owned it for so long speaks volumes. And
I think it was a callback to his stage experience, because a lot of times when actors are on screen or on stage, not only are they told to project their voice, but they are told that their face is hard to see from a distance for people's audience, so their expressions tend to be over exaggerated.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they switch from stage to TV or film, and they're in front of a camera, the director usually has to tell them to tone it down. And William Shatner has said, when people have asked him, why do you have those delays and those pauses? He said that when he was on stage, that's how he learned to get the audience's attention.
I mean, if they're hanging on every word and waiting for the next word, you got their attention.
Exactly right.
Right.
And it works for him. I mean, sometimes he goes a little over the top with it, but there's sometimes where his acting is just fantastic, and it just fits within the actual role that he's doing. But here's a little bit of a description here from IMDb talking about the movie Impulse.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, 1974. A paranoid leisure suit wearing conman gigolo named Matt Stone seduces lonely women, bilks them out of their savings via an investment scam, then kills them. When he begins seeing an attractive widow, her daughter Tina becomes suspicious of his motives. And I remember seeing this at the drive-in, and I'm going to pull up the other movie that I saw with it. I just have to.
That definitely sounds like a drive-in grindhouse film. I would definitely be in the back of a truck watching that.
And here's the movie I saw it with. The Mad Butcher. With Victor Buono. Anyone remember him as King Tut from the Batman series from '66, and from Whatever Happened to Baby Jane and Hush Hush Sweet Charlotte, among many things. This was another cornball movie where he plays a butcher living in Vienna who kills people and turns them into sausage and feeds them. And it's got the titillation, it's got the 70s nudity and the grindhouse, authentic grindhouse look that a lot of movies try to achieve later on. And it says here, after being released from a mental hospital, Otto returned to his old job as a butcher. He tries to adjust to his new life, but after a bitter argument with his wife, he accidentally kills her. Fearing he will be sent back to the hospital, he grinds up her body and sells it as sausages. As friends and relatives start asking questions about her disappearances. And this is another movie I cannot seem to find. It's hilarious. It's kind of like a comedy horror, very low budget, but very, very grindhouse. And I love the era of the movies that were, in fact, I don't know if you're aware, but a couple nights ago we covered Death Race 2000 on my channel. And I really love it.
There for it whenever you posted the poll. I have yet to watch it, but I will. But if you recall, I was like, Frankenstein!
That's right, yes.
If that wasn't answer enough. Even though I kind of like
Absolutely. It was such a good movie.
I love Machine Gun Joe, too. He was fun.
Oh, so do I. Yeah, Sylvester Stallone did a really good job playing the heavy before that was right before he did Rocky, that he was working on the screenplay at the time. And that's what it almost made him lose landing the role as Rocky, because when he turned in the script, the studio loved it and said, yeah, we want Robert Redford, we want this person and that person. And he says, no, I'm not going to sell you the script unless I play Rocky.
Now, I'm going to go down the Death Race rabbit hole a little bit for you.
Sure,
Did you know that there was a game that came out for PC called Carmageddon, and it predates Twisted Metal? And it's basically,
I'm not sure if I've seen that.
It's very similar to Death Race, where you don't just need to finish first, but you need to run over as many people as possible. And so I was just like, whenever I found this game, I was just like, Death Race on my PC. I'm living the dream. Carry on.
That's how I always felt about Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, well, Grand Theft Auto ain't a true Death Race. This took place in a post-apocalyptic world where the cityscapes were gutted out and turned into like raider headquarters, and you know the streets were filled with junk and people, and you had a route, and you had so many people out there, and you were like, "Hey, man, it's a true Death Race experience." I think you would enjoy it. Like it's a
I'm sure I would.
Yeah.
I know it's not really doesn't fit into today's standards, but all the better for it.
Right.
And Herc 130 says, I read the Stephen Donaldson books a lot like White Gold Wielder, The One Tree, Lord Fowl's Bone. That was my introduction to sci-fi fantasy. Then Asimov and Clark and Vonnegut, so it began. Oh, Herc, we could talk about those forever. Yeah. Wow, I love that.
That's a good starter's palette. That's good appetizers right there. For sure.
Good. Yes, absolutely. And I miss having writers like that. I know there's good writers out there these days, but they're just, with the message being pushed so far and so deeply, a lot of people are not given the chance anymore. Those that really deserve it and earned it. And Ola Greg, welcome. Ola Greg says, interesting. Good to see you, Ola Greg.
Hail to you, Ola Greg.
Yeah, and Herc 130 says, hey, Ola Greg. In fact, I'm going to pull that up here really quick, what we were talking about a minute ago here. By the way, remind everybody, this is William Shatner's fantastic 92nd birthday.
Kingdom of the Spiders.
So I'm going to pull these up, so in case anybody are not aware of these, you will be after I show them. There we go. There we are. Kingdom of the Spiders, 1977. So this was just a couple years. Poster. Oh, I can't show too much, or I'll get a copyright strike.
I like that creature feature poster, though.
Yeah, that's a fantastic poster, isn't it? Yeah. When I was a kid, I thought it was a giant spider. I thought it was going to be like tarantula, but after seeing the movie, I still enjoyed it. And I wish I could show this trailer, but I know I'll get a copyright strike if I do, so I have to kind of hide it. Sorry about that, guys. But in rural Arizona, countless killer tarantulas are migrating through a farm town, killing every living thing in their path. The town's veterinarian will do everything in his power to survive the onslaught. That veterinarian is William Shatner, so we get to see him play kind of like a cowboy figure. And I highly recommend
it. Kevin Bacon in Tremors.
Yeah, kind of like Kevin Bacon, right, right, with the hammy acting.
Yeah,
but it's a good movie. As you can see from looking at the cast, it's got a lot of old famous character actors.
David McLean, no shit.
Woody Strode, look at that. Woody Strode was a classic actor. Oh yeah.
I am saddened that I did not see this film.
You have not seen it yet?
No, I was like this again. I was suggested to it from Cardinal Sin on a Midnight to Midnight, the last Midnight to Midnight he had, and I have it on my docket to watch. So,
well, you know what? Since this is Thursday, we got a pop. Let me check. Oh, all right. Welcome, PvP. It's so good to see you, sir.
Hello, Pleasant Valley Picker, Canada.
Yo, guys. How you doing?
Doing great. We are celebrating the great Captain Kirk, or shall I say William Shatner's birthday. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. Well, actually, I won't mention it online. It's nothing too terrible, but it's just something in my apartment here that seems to have malfunctioned. So I'm gonna have to
Uh-oh.
call. I am gonna have to call the landlord one of these days. It's not critically important, but I'm gonna have to get around to it sometime in the next week for sure. Yeah.
It's
Well,
not
I'm
a
sorry to hear that,
lukewarm
sir.
power outlet, is it?
No, it's let's put it this way. It's a plumbing leak. Nothing
Oh,
serious, nothing major. It's just kind of minor, but I don't want it to get major, so it's gonna probably need to be replaced. So
absolutely.
yeah, but anyway,
Maybe,
I like your little Shatner slapping himself in the top right hand corner there.
Yeah,
That's pretty
I
funny.
mentioned that too backstage.
That's a good one. Yeah,
He's like, oh God, I can't
yeah.
stop slapping myself on repeat forever.
That was played with
that is
stepchildren, wasn't it?
right.
Yeah.
That's the pinnacle of acting, right?
Yeah. Yeah, when you can slap yourself. Actually, the actors in Hollywood should learn to do that these days. That most of them deserve it.
I know. I pay $10 for a lot of them to do it.
Yeah.
They would do it
Actually, they
right
could
for.
probably make money. They could probably start a YouTube channel where they came on here and they'd probably get a lot of super chats.
Yeah,
Hey,
let's start with Kevin Smith tomorrow at the convention.
yeah, I was gonna say, hopefully I'm gonna get Kevin Smith to at the very least trip over his own freaking hubris tomorrow.
Oh,
Right.
Kevin Smith, yeah. I'd never liked Kevin Smith. I never understood his popularity with a lot of
Tumblr.
people.
I have a Jane Silent Bob Tumblr.
Uh-huh.
And the only reason why I haven't thrown it onto the concrete and smashed it is because Jason Mewes' signature is on one side of that cup.
Oh, okay.
Hey, PvP, Tony here is going to meet Kevin Smith tomorrow at a convention.
Wow.
He giggles.
How exciting.
Tell me about how you betrayed He-Man, fiend! Yes! How dare you have evil Lynn, of all people, cuckold me? You should be dragged out into the street and shot!
Yeah, who needs Skeletor when you got Kevin Smith, right?
Yeah, I know, right? He deserves every troll and every heckle that he gets.
Yeah, I
And
always thought there was something superficial about the guy. I don't know why. There's just always something about him that just bugged me. I don't know why, but
I always thought that he did one movie, Clerks, which was okay, and then he just keeps riding on that. I mean, for decades on that one movie. But I know people like his Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
Well, yeah, I know.
Those,
I know Silent Bob is popular too, but
hey, Ola Greg
anyway.
says, "Be true, unbeliever." And Ola Greg says, "Banner of the Blood Guard." And Ola Greg says, "The Giants." Hi, Herc, says Ola Greg. Ola Greg says, "Rebel Stone will hold." So, PvP, let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
The other night when we were doing the Death Race 2000, remember we were talking about that?
And
towards the end there, we were talking about voting for movies and how I was saying I wanted to cover The Howling.
I haven't had enough time to think about it because work has kind of been busy.
Right, but what I wanted to ask you, I was thinking in the honor of William Shatner, considering today is his birthday, what if we do Kingdom of the Spiders on Tuesday?
That would be, that would be great. I saw Kingdom of the Spiders years ago, so I'll have to rewatch it because it's been a long time. But
right, and it is available. Right, it's available for people to see.
It's a really good film, actually. I mean, it might be a B picture, but it's a good one.
Right. Well, he elevates it up to make it interesting, and it had some really good effects.
Yeah, and I mean, with a guy like Woody Strode in it, it's got to be decent, right? Because I remember Woody Strode. Didn't he do westerns or something at one time?
Oh, he did westerns. He did what do you call it? He did some of those big gladiator movies. I can't remember if it was Spartacus or exactly which one he was in.
Yeah, I wonder. It might have been Spartacus.
Not Spartacus. He was in. I think he was in Jason the Argonauts. I think.
I don't think so.
Put me on that.
No, I don't think so. I actually just watched Jason about 6 months ago.
Let's find out here.
I don't remember Woody being in that.
Oh man, he was a great actor. You're right. Yeah, Spartacus.
Spartacus.
The man who shot Liberty Valance, the 10 Commandments. I mean, look at that.
Wow.
Look at that. The Quick and the Dead.
That's an A-list actor for sure.
Oh, that's right. He was in Lust in the Dust. Oh, I love Lust in the Dust. Directed by the great Paul Bartel, who did Death Race 2000.
Wow.
Look at that.
Fantasy Island.
And
he actually did a little bit of
fantasy
TV work there. Yeah.
Yeah, the little
Buck
TV work.
Rogers.
There it is. Kingdom of the Spiders, Walter called.
Kingdom of the Spiders.
Yeah.
Got
Yeah. Woody Strode was a classic.
Boy, he did
A lot of good
Torrential
movies in there. The
Adventures.
Italian Connection. Jeez.
Boot
Once Upon a
Hill.
Time in the
Upon a
West.
Time West. That's a great film. That's
Oh,
a
see,
great
I would love to do a Western stream too. I'm a big fan of Westerns. And Once Upon a Time
yeah.
in the West
His
is my
TV
favorite.
Yeah.
career, his TV career is extensive. Batman, Daniel Boone.
Uh-huh.
Daniel Boone. That was a good series.
Yeah.
I like Daniel Boone.
Look at that. Look at all that. Man, that guy was fantastic. What a range.
Really impressive.
King of Ethiopia, as
Son of
Woodrow Strode.
Sinbad. There's the Ray Harryhausen monsters I was thinking of.
Okay.
Son of Sinbad.
Yeah.
Very cool. City Beneath the Sea. Man, the guy, look at that.
That's a lot
Wow.
of a lot of films.
He was good. He was good. Very stoic. Very good. Very good actor.
Well, he had a great
and
look
physically
too,
capable.
right? He had a great look. I mean, his look kind of suited his personality.
It was a
You know?
Yes.
stony gaze of take no shit.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you see this guy coming down the street, you don't want to mess with him.
Right, like Charles Bronson. All you gotta do is look at him and say, "Oh no, excuse me."
Yeah,
Right.
exactly, exactly.
Oh,
But yeah,
man,
King of the
that's-
Spiders. That would be a great choice. I would definitely try and make it for that.
I mean,
for sure.
didn't Arachnophobia basically copy Kingdom of the Spiders?
I never
Yes.
saw that movie,
That,
so I
isn't
can't
that
say.
isn't that the general argument that I hear? Because I've seen Arachnophobia.
Okay.
It did.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
pretty much a copy of it. It was PvP. If you haven't seen it, it was pretty much Kingdom of the Spiders at Steven Spielberg with more special effects, more
And a
spiders,
giant
bigger
queen
spiders.
in the basement.
Okay.
And a giant
Right.
queen in the basement. That
So was
ended
it-
up. Yeah.
Was it good?
It was good, but it was
good.
It had a comedy angle to it. The Exterminator was played by
Oh,
John
okay.
Goodman, so it kind of had a
Oh, John Goodman. Okay, yeah, that's
right. He played
yeah,
the Exterminator, which kind of took the horror angle off of it. It softened it.
yeah.
Because I remember when I
Yeah.
first saw it, I thought, well, I was really into it. I was like, I'm liking this. But when they turned it into a comedy, it kind of ruined it for me.
Yeah, when I think of John Goodman, I don't exactly think of an action hero.
I think, then you have movies like Red Eye, which is one of Kevin Smith's only serious films.
He directed that with
That
the one with the guys on
ended-
the people on the plane.
When he was the U.S. Marshal, not Red Eye. What was it? Red State.
Red State. Oh yeah, that's right. Red
Yeah.
State. Yes.
When he played that U.S. Marshal, he was absolutely intimidating. He was right out of the gate. Hi, Sean.
Hello, Sean. Sean Carter. Good to see you.
Hi, Sean.
Can you speak?
Hello.
There you are.
Welcome.
I'm not Sean Carter. I'm Kevin Smith.
You need your trench coat.
Tony,
Cry if you can.
Tony.
Uh-huh.
Tony, I heard what you were saying. I heard what you were saying about me.
What a triumph.
Oh my God, what a triumph in cinema. I can't believe they did it. They went against the grain and they did it. They are so brave. They are so wonderful. I can't.
That's the best acting performance since I've seen in Wilson in Castaway.
Oh my God.
That's better acting than anything Kevin Smith has done in a long time. That's for sure.
Well, I mean, when you're playing a character
Absolutely.
that doesn't say shit, you don't really need to do much.
Right.
I gotta admit,
Oh,
I
man.
stole that little bit from Wayne's World when he threw the water on his face to cry. It's okay. I don't mind.
Yes. Megatron approves.
I was
so
rushing.
Sean,
Yes, sir.
did you hear what I said just before you got here? That I'm thinking about covering Kingdom of the Spiders on Tuesday in honor of William
Okay.
Shatner's birthday today. What do you think?
I think that's a wonderful idea.
All right.
That's
Have you
great.
seen it?
No, I haven't. I heard you were talking about it the other night.
Yeah. So
yeah.
since it's his birthday, I thought why not? And I know it's available out there. So I'll post. I'll go ahead and post it on my community tab that we're going to cover that one on Tuesday night in honor of William Shatner. And
Okay.
I'll get some links out there for people to watch if they don't have it. I don't want them to have to pay money to watch it. So I'm sure a few free platforms that it's available on.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I'll definitely try to watch it for sure.
Yeah, I think that'll be fun. It'll be a blast. It's a really crowd pleasing movie, so I think we'll have a good time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, very entertaining film.
Hertz says, hey, Ola Greg. Ola Greg says, be true, unbeliever. Ola Greg says, banner of the Blood Guard.
Blood
The
for the Blood
Giants.
God?
Hi, Hertz says Euler. I'm maybe repeating myself if I am. Forgive me, guys.
You are.
Rebel Stone will hold. Hey, PvP. Howdy, Sean, says LDG.
Hey,
Hashtag
hello.
free the net. Free the net indeed.
And
LDG 's still
Herc, I
awake.
finally responded to Herc's email. I'm sorry it took so long.
Yeah, you two need to get together and do a stream together and show us some of your toys.
Oh, he'd destroy me. Yeah, that wow. He sent me some pictures of some cool stuff.
Yeah, he's got a whole lifetime of models he hasn't even assembled yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember seeing
when I saw his stuff, I'm like, I'm not worthy to do a channel. Like looking at how good his things are.
Yeah, he had like a whole wall of unopened model kits. It looked
Oh
like.
yeah.
Like,
And he sent me some pictures too that were great.
Oh
Some
wow!
cool military craft, and
He must have like
stuff.
a thousand kits he hasn't built yet. Like, there's not enough time in a lifetime to build all those.
No, and that I can identify with as a modeler. Like we always have tons that we've never opened. It's like, oh, you're at a store and I'm going to buy one.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, it always
Yeah.
gives you something to look forward to.
Well, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, by the way, King of the Spiders, I just looked it up. It's only 89 minutes, so it won't take that long to do.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
Get this. The budget was $1 million back in 1977.
Wow, that's incredible.
The box office take was 17 million.
Ooh, very successful.
This thing was a hit film in its day. Yeah.
Yep. And
Fleshlings love their creature features.
Another movie too that was fantastic, just tailor made for the drive-ins. It was perfect.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Pop, did you consider the name of the channel that we were talking about the other night, or the name of the show rather? Yeah,
I thought about that afterwards, and like I said, I like that name better. It's just that I don't want to say I don't like the term modern audience, but to younger people out there, I don't want them to think that it's mostly only older movies, because I want to cover modern movies as well. I know PvP knows what we're talking about. Tony probably doesn't, and I don't know about everybody in the chat. But
yeah, well, Tony's young. Maybe Tony can give some feedback. He's younger.
Right, so I'm willing to throw it out there.
I'm stuck in the middle. I got Gen X to the left of me and Zoomers to the right. Here I am, stuck in the middle with you, Prime.
So, my stream currently, it on Tuesdays, it's kind of a generic name. It's just sci-fi, horror sci-fi reviews. My original format that I had thought of and what I was going to come up with was I was going to call it Atomic Drive-In Theater, but I wasn't sure if younger people would accept that. I was afraid that they would think that
younger people might not even know what a drive-in is.
That's the whole, yeah.
To be quite honest,
They either won't know what it is, or they'll say, well, that's something Grandpa used to go to. I'm not going to watch. Right?
I got a story to tell you. I heard this at work this week. One of my fellow employees was talking about shopping on the weekend last weekend, and they ran out of batteries, right?
Uh-huh.
So they went into a store and asked for batteries, and they talked to like 3 employees. The first one said, "Oh, I don't think we carry those," and the second one, she talked to said, "We haven't carried those in a long time." And guess what? The third person said when she was asked if there were any batteries available.
This sounds like a joke. Okay.
Well, this is a joke, but it's actually a real story.
Right. Real life sometimes is better than jokes.
She says, "Do you have any batteries?" And the employee answers, "What are batteries?"
Oh God.
They didn't
It's,
know what a battery was.
it's that thing that makes your toy at home go bzzz.
It's like, does this person not have a smoke detector in their home?
Right.
Like,
I have to lament the fact that fleshlings don't know what the true power source is.
God.
it's truly insane.
That
I
thing that you have to
laugh
charge
so
for your
hard.
phone to work, right?
I laugh
Or
so hard.
did they ever change a remote? Like how entitled were they that they didn't even
I
have their
know.
parents ask them to change the remote battery?
I
Yeah,
know, right?
they probably threw it away
Yeah.
when the battery was dead, right?
Yeah, probably. It was just insane. I couldn't believe it, but man, it was a good laugh for sure.
You know, there was a video just a couple weeks ago too. It was on. Well, I saw it on Twitter, but I'm sure it was TikTok originally and Twitter. But it was this young girl, probably about 17 or 18, saying, you know, sometimes when people don't have their cell phones, it's hard to find them. Or if everybody's in a different place, it's hard to tell where they were. They need to invent a phone that is in the house that is fastened to the wall. And that way it always rings and people know where to answer it. And you can always find the person that's at home. They need to invent something like that. And I'm like,
Who
oh,
said
God.
this?
Like she was like 16 or 17. It was like on TikTok.
These people have obviously never taken a history lesson about anything, it seems.
And
Or
you
watched
wonder why I
watched
went to
a show prior to 1990. My goodness.
Yeah, that's nuts. When I was a kid, we actually really did have a phone on our kitchen wall, believe it or not.
Same
And it
here.
had one of those dial things with the numbers
Yeah.
you had to
Yeah.
dial too.
Yeah. I remember the dial.
Yeah.
And
My
then I
grandma
remember-
had a
and then
rotary phone.
Right, the rotary, and then
Yeah.
I had a rotary clear up until about 2005.
Well, everybody did back in the day, right? So
Well, I
Yeah,
kept
I
it because
forget
when
the
power,
comedian.
yeah,
Sorry,
I kept
Bob.
it when power went out. It always worked. That's why I kept mine.
Yep.
mm.
I remember some comedian saying, "Yeah, you know, rotary phones. Like anyone who had a zero, you curse the name of anyone who had a zero in their phone number,
Right.
especially
Yeah,
if you
well, you're-
screw it up. You know, like you didn't get it all the way. You're like, I got to start over."
yeah,
Start
Darling
over.
Finger got a good
When I
workout,
was
that's for
growing
sure.
up, when I was a wee lad, I was the remote. We were
Oh,
told
yeah.
to flip that freaking button. We had a floor model TV with like the ornate wood around its
Oh,
like,
yeah.
speakers.
Yeah, and it
We
was
had one
built-
of those
it was-
that also acted as an armoire.
Yeah,
And yeah, I
it
would
was-
get
it
up
was
and I'd
the-
have to turn that freaking dial whenever it was time to change the freaking channel.
and the TV was the size of a battleship, right?
It was like
But the screen was 3 inches.
no, it was
No,
more
no,
like
actually,
it was
we got a color
19-inch
TV.
set.
It was 25. We
Yeah.
had a nice. We had a
We had a
Quasar. It was like
19-inch set,
$1,000, which was a
but it
lot
was
of
like
money.
a 3-foot
in the
long
70s.
television. Like if I were to lay down on top of it when I was a kid, I could have used that as a bunk.
Just put a mattress on the top, and you're all
Yeah.
set.
One of my best, fondest memories as a kid was to go to my grandparents' house in Santa Monica for Thanksgiving, and that's where I got hooked on the Twilight Zone because there was always a marathon.
Cool.
And I remember we'd watching Twilight Zone in their den, and they had this ancient 1950s chair that had a massage wheel in it, and it got hot and all that kind of
Hell
stuff.
yeah.
Wow.
And then we would watch TV, and then when it was time to eat, we'd turn the TV off. And I remember that TV, when you turned it off, it would go down to a little white dot in the center of the screen and stay there for about 5 minutes.
Yep.
Like
Oh,
those
yeah.
Remember
old
that.
school ones.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, those
I
are the
just-
ones
I
you had when you turned them on. They had to warm up.
Yeah, they had to warm up. Yeah.
Yeah, and they had a
And-
little
and-
dot in the center of the screen when it would just slowly fade away.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
But
those are the days.
Oh God, yeah. What memories?
I'm getting nostalgic.
The old vacuum tube, right? Cathode ray tube.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Cathode
Big old
ray
Nixie
tube.
tubes, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys see this
Yeah.
video I have highlighted here, right? Have you seen it?
I have not seen this.
No. These
Yeah, hopefully I
poor,
won't-
undeserving souls.
Right. Hopefully, I won't get a copyright
so
strike.
Go ahead and lift out the box.
It doesn't look hopeful though, since the one guy's wearing his
You have
baseball
4 minutes.
cap backwards.
to dial the
That's
number.
never
Right.
a
He,
sign.
he says you have 4 minutes to dial this number or to call this number.
With that phone. Kyle, move your butt over. I don't want your butt in the video. There you go.
Oh, this is hilarious.
I saw the
my
backwards hat. I thought it was Kevin Smith.
How do I restart?
Oh, this is good.
Oh,
Gotta
there,
be
there,
safe.
there's a spark of intelligence.
You have to keep the earpiece up off the hook, kid.
Yeah. Maybe you need to actually lift the receiver.
Receiver,
Oh,
what's
my
that?
God, this is mind-boggling. And just think, folks, this is the future of the world we're seeing right here.
It is. It's sad.
Yeah.
There you go.
nothing
There you go.
wrong
Almost
with-
there. Almost there.
There's nothing wrong with kids not knowing certain obsolete technologies, but they do at the very least need to respect why their iPhones are in their hands and where they came from.
Well, the thing is, it wouldn't take more than about, half an hour to look up telephone on Wikipedia and read a little bit of history about it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll give
Appreciate-
you
It just-
your 0 is correct.
It's baffling that they wouldn't have just picked this up through osmosis. Like I didn't grow up with the old school, like you hold the earpiece, the piece to your ear and speak into the megaphone and crank the phone to get the operator. But I know about that, and I didn't grow up with it. Like,
Yeah, that was decades before I was around, and I knew
We
about
watched
it. I mean,
we watched enough westerns to see that whenever somebody was sending a telegraph or using one of those old phones, we would have been able to go, okay, well, at the very least, I have an idea, and if I don't have the idea, I can figure it out. It's a simple.
exactly my point. Is it just shows that these kids are not watching what came before. Like, I grew up loving those types of things. There's just such a disconnect from the current generation to the past in a way that I've never seen before.
you know,
And
the
by the way,
saddest
shout
thing-
out and credit to Kevin Bumstead. If you're listening, Kevin, this is your channel. This is Kevin's channel, everybody. So full credit goes to him.
Yeah, this is quite something.
We have to pick up the phone and then do it?
This is
look.
a non-profit commentary.
Right, totally non-profit. I'm not making any money off
It's a
this.
start.
And I'm giving Kevin Bumstead full credit. Kevin
Is the
Bumstead
phone
came up with
plugged
this
in? Can they hear
fantastic
the dial
idea.
tone? Apparently they can. They understand there's a dial tone, so they ain't hung it back up.
Well,
yet.
yeah.
Not hung it up.
It just goes and
Almost
Oh
there.
my God.
Yeah, it's like if you don't have a dial tone, you're not going to get anywhere.
Now remember, now this video is 4 minutes long, so we have 4 minutes to call the number.
4 minutes
Oh
of
my
them bumbling
God.
around like fools.
We're at
You guys
3
are doing
minutes,
great.
8 seconds.
Talk
We're at
about
right
it.
now.
Man, did I quit up? Did I pick a week to quit drinking on the air? Oh my God.
Imagine if the house was burning down and you're telling them to call 911.
Can you imagine if they made another Saw movie and it's like telling people like, okay, you have to call this number.
Kyle just figured it out.
Right,
That's
like,
the
call this
whole
number
crap.
and you're free.
There
Oh,
you go.
look,
Actually, I'd watch that. That would
be a sign that Kramer's not trying anymore. I'd be like, you ain't even tried anymore, are you? And he'd be like, I guess not.
8500. 8500. We're done.
Oh,
God.
No, I didn't. It just. There's 5 seconds to do it.
Does this kind of prove that it seems like some young people are just incapable of learning? Like, they had chances, right? They got it right part of the time when they picked the receiver up.
Did they hear the dial tone? That's
they-
my
yeah.
biggest question.
Once you hear the dial tone, you think, okay, I better keep the receiver.
I have a line
off
open.
the
Now I
phone.
need to dial the number.
Right. But remember, they don't know what a
Exactly.
dial tone is, so maybe they
And
think when
common
they hear it,
sense,
they're
like,
doing something wrong.
Where's the
But
the
every
common
cell
sense?
phone that I've ever owned, whenever you dial it, it makes the beep number. So at the very least, the annotation of hitting that dial all the way to the clicker with the number to create the beep should have given them the hint that, hey, I just inputted this number. Keep
You would
going.
definitely hope so, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
makes you wonder. Jeez.
For that, I kind of blame the parents of those kids because, like, my son would know what to do, and he's about that age. He's 25, and he would know because I showed him the old stuff. I made him watch the old movies with me.
That's the thing. If you're a parent, I think you should have a responsibility to raise your kids to, like
So
have
that
half
when
a
they
brain
ask
at
the
least, right?
important questions,
Like,
like say you're going to show them Scream, right? And back then, and that was at the turn of the millennium, late 90s, early 2000s film, all right? So they had wireless phones, but they still hung them up on terminals that were plugged into the wall.
Hmm.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
And your
cordless.
kid
It was
goes-
a cordless phone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And your
yeah.
kid goes, well, why aren't they taking that phone with them? You can go, well, that's not a cell phone. What do you mean that's not a cell phone? Insert lesson here.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I
and,
just don't
and those kids
understand.
should have. Those kids' grandparents should have landlines. Like,
Well,
there's no
that's
way
it.
you shouldn't know.
How did they not learn from the grandparents? Like, it's just like, what really gets me is like I always, I'm not by far, I'm far from the most knowledgeable person
Uh-oh.
around on any particular thing. But as far as general knowledge goes, all my life I've been kind of like a sponge, where like I soak up a bit of this, soak up a bit of knowledge about that. So, when it comes to a lot of topics, I can at least kind of generally, discuss them, right? But
Mhm.
I think to be alive and not have a curiosity about the world and not want to learn about the world is really tragic. Like I just never understood people like that,
Right.
I'll tell you when I was shocked, PvP. I was talking about I was talking to my stepkids who were 20 and 22. And I mentioned Pearl Harbor, and they said, "What's that?"
Oh my God.
Oh God.
Torah,
I'm like,
Torah,
"Oh."
Torah.
Hey, I'm Canadian and I know what Pearl Harbor is, and I've known what Pearl Harbor is since I was probably
That's
like,
whenever you
a
sit down
kid.
and you make them watch Torah, Torah, Torah.
That's great. Yeah,
My
that's a
my
great movie.
cousin worked on that movie.
That's a great movie.
I have to mention this good friend of mine named Sean. His daughter Melissa was in high school in Madera, California, and the teacher was supposedly a history teacher, and he would not bring it up. She asked him about Pearl Harbor, and he said it never happened. You believe it?
That's
Oh
sick.
my God.
My
That's
friend
so
was
dis-
so upset. He went
that's so
down to that school, right, and immediately started. He
that's
demanded the teacher and the
so
principal.
disrespectful.
Yep.
Pop,
I mean,
was this your
there's
friend
so
Sean who passed away?
Yes, the one. His actual name was Sean Carter. Yeah.
that's sick.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
that's
Yeah.
really sick. I
He
mean,
was my friend from seventh grade all the way, until he passed away.
that's so incredibly disrespectful though to all the men that are still down in that ship in Pearl Harbor.
Yep.
When I went with Hawaii with my parents to Hawaii when I was like, 17, right? Many years ago. And it was awesome. Like Hawaii back then was really, really nice. But we took a harbor cruise, right? Which included, going by the Arizona, right? And so we didn't stop at the Arizona, but we didn't get to the memorial, but we did go past it, and we were pretty close, to it. And the ship kind of stopped for a few minutes, and people could pay the respects and whatnot. And it was a very moving experience to see that what was left of the Arizona still submerged, and thinking about all those sailors that sacrificed themselves for their country. It was just it was very moving. It was a wonderful
Did you
experience.
see the oil? Did you see the oil slick?
I probably did. It's been, as I say, so many decades ago, the memory fades, but yeah, there probably was still an oil slick coming up at that time.
Well, there
Yeah.
still is. I think they said it's going to be another 100 years that it's going to be leaking out of there.
Wow. Yeah, there probably was then. Yeah. Yeah. But I just remember, like, I felt so fortunate to have the opportunity to see that, with my own eyes firsthand, because, it is
Exactly.
such a part of an immense part, of very serious history. And yeah, it was really a great experience, really, to see it.
It was coming back from the island of Tiniatalehi. We just delivered the bomb, the Hiroshima bomb.
But that was the biggest mistake the Japanese ever made, wasn't it? When they attacked
Oh,
Pearl
yeah.
Harbor. Oh boy, did
And
they pay for that?
Tora was such a good movie, like
Yes.
Tony was talking
Oh,
about. Man,
I think it's a fantastic. It's like a documentary almost.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Like the
Well,
detail. It's just, yeah. That's a
the
great film.
Japanese put all of their eggs in one basket and thought that our entire naval strength was at Pearl Harbor.
well,
And
it
because of
almost
this misinformation, they were introduced to the power of the atom. And
Oh, they paid a heavy price. Yeah.
yes,
Well, Their civilians did, unfortunately. Probably, most of the people that died were civilians, but
Yes.
Well,
yeah.
the one thing to keep in mind is we got really lucky that the Enterprise was out on maneuvers that day.
Oh,
Yes.
man. Wow.
It was. If the Enterprise would have been in there, it would have blocked it would have taken out a carrier, and it would have completely blocked the harbor like the Japanese had planned. But their big target was the E.
Wow.
And they wanted to take the Enterprise out, and it was out on maneuvers, and
Boy.
God, did we get lucky. Speaking of cool movies, The Gallant Hours, have you guys seen that?
I have not seen that one.
Well, I'm not sure if I'm
Negative.
familiar with that.
I assume it's about Pearl Harbor.
It's a documentary movie about Admiral Halsey, and it's played by James Cagney.
Oh, cool.
And he does an incredible job. And it's almost like Tora, where it's almost like a documentary. No, you don't see one bullet fired in the movie. And it's Admiral Halsey, and it starts off with his retirement. And there's just one of the most somber naval hymns I've ever heard. It's a black one. It's such an incredible movie. My dad turned me on to that. And it's like,
I love Cagney.
Cagney is a great actor.
Oh, he was so good. You got to see that movie, The Gallant Hours. It is incredible.
And Cagney was so versatile too. He could seem to do just about any kind of film.
Oh yeah, like Mr. Roberts. Look here, Mister.
Oh yes,
that's it.
Yes.
He could do.
We're not going to have this no tomfoolery going on here, Mister.
And what was it? He did Yankee Doodle Dandy, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he could do music.
I think his last movie was Ragtime. I think.
Ragtime. I remember that. Yeah, I saw that years ago. That was pretty good.
And what'd you say the name of that movie was, Sean?
The Gallant Hours.
Gallant Hours.
Okay, I'm looking to see if I have it on my server.
Darn.
It's so good.
I don't. Good. So I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna add that to my war collection. Thank you.
And it's a great thing because it's a World War II flick, but you don't see one bullet fired, anything like that. It's just about Admiral Halsey and the Battle of Guadalcanal and the decisions he made to win that turned the tide of the war.
Yeah, 1960. Beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah, and the beginning of the movie is haunting.
Wow.
The naval hymn. I think it's the Navy choir. Actually, they got to sing this song. It's called I knew a lad who went to sea. That's the words. It's so good. Oh, actually, I'm envious that you get to watch this.
Well, it's funny because I remember, obviously, he did interviews where he said, "I don't know why the impersonators always say that I say you dirty rat. I've never said that. I've never said that."
Well, it's like Beam Me Up Scotty, right?
Right.
Oh yeah, I think the closest was Scotty Beam Us Up or Scotty Beam Me Up.
Scotty Beam Us Up from the animated series.
I think he might have said once, "Mr. Scott Beam Me Up" or something.
Something like that. Yeah,
was Star Trek 4.
Beam me up, Mr. Scott.
But you guys know the reason why they never said the actual line, right?
No.
Yeah, when I went to the conventions, and this was during the period of Star Trek when they're making Star Trek 2 through 6. I was attending a lot of conventions, and obviously that was one of the questions asked: why they danced around that one sentence and never actually said it. And they said because unfortunately, it was such a popular sentence that people were using it for drug deals. So when they would contact the drug dealer,
you're kidding.
It was a sign to say, "Yeah, I've got the drugs you need."
Well, they want to get beamed up in a different way, I guess. Yeah.
Right, just like 5-0 has since become a term for police.
Yeah.
No, that's true. Yeah. Hey, I just posted the Gallant Hours 1960 in the chat here. If anybody wants to,
nice.
If anybody wants to,
I am now downloading it.
I will now go out on a limb and say, well, perhaps cocaine dealers use the new phrase called "energize."
Yeah, that would be better, right?
in my neighborhood growing up,
I would say you got the drugs. Beam me up.
See, in my neighborhood growing up, you went down to where the ice cream guy was, and you asked for 10 Abba-Zabbas, and he knew what you wanted. Hey, give me 10 Abba-Zabbas, and that was like the code.
I
Yes.
remember there was a
I
comedian.
need 2 yabba dabbas and 1 do, please.
There was a comedian. I remember he had a great joke where he said that he came up from he lived in a bad neighborhood and the ice cream truck was covered in graffiti. So he said that whenever the truck was stopped, he'd say, "I'll take 2 screw yous and a eat me Tony."
So I have a thing to show here for Tony. Yeah.
Oh, USS Reliant, right?
Yes.
Oh
Yeah,
wow,
that's
beautiful.
This,
Are you gonna
there's
put
no
lights in
lights
that one
on
too?
this. And
No.
what's that?
Well, I was just asking about the lights, but never mind. You were going to say that.
Yeah, there's no lights on it. I want to get another one of these and light it up. Some guys have done it, but this was a fun one. I have to kind of tidy it up because like the nacelles are falling off.
Oh yes. Now I need to do my yoga poses for you.
Oh, by the way, Tony, I ordered the Defiant. Yes, it's going to be here Monday.
Yes, that's the one I want.
Yeah. So it's this one
I
I'm going
owe
to do
him.
for Tony.
I
just-
owe him. Yes, I owe him some con lines for this.
Yeah, it's a small model, so it's no big deal. And I'll just put some lights in there, and I'll have a switch on there and just a little battery-driven power. So very easy. But that'll be cool. It'll be another video for my channel.
And I'll
the
have that
Defiant's
bad boy
popular.
sitting on top of my tower. And
That Defiant's popular. A
whenever
lot
I
of people
do
like that model.
Whenever I threaten
Yeah.
a crew to your ship's sophistication, I do not understand. You will assist me in understanding this sophistication.
Understood.
What was that from?
Die. Whenever he's like talking about, whenever he's trying to coerce the crew to serve him in Space Seed when he got out. He's like, you know the lines by heart. I'm just playing by ear, but yeah, like
Paraphrasing.
yes.
Yeah, I've seen it many times.
Space Seed could have easily been a great 2-parter. It's too bad it wasn't.
Oh, it is technically a 2-parter because we got Wrath of Khan.
Well, yeah, I know. But in my opinion, before Wrath of Khan came out, I remember watching the episode thinking I would have liked to see more where Khan's men were taking over the ship and the struggle in the turmoil of the ship defending itself and hand-to-hand combat on board the levels and all that kind of stuff would have been nice.
They did have to kind of condense the story to fit into a 50-minute episode, didn't they?
Well, that's it. Yeah, that's exactly why they didn't show any of what I just said, which is okay. But it's the same thing. Star Trek 5, it's like they landed aboard the Enterprise. Oh, sorry, it's already been taken over by Cybok. What? Oh, yeah, that was all off camera. Huh?
Yeah.
A crew of over 400 crew members? Huh? Oh,
Well,
yeah, never mind.
I still can't take Star Trek 5 seriously. I like the theory that the only real part is in Yellowstone or wherever it is, and the rest is all like some weird dream Kirk's having or something. It makes more sense to me that way.
Yeah, and if you watch it and tell yourself that it's great, but even so, that movie has the best moments between the big three, and it's worth it for that. It's just it's worth the crappy story.
Yeah, that's the one strong point of that film is the our big three.
Mm-hmm.
Joking around like it is pretty heartwarming stuff.
Yeah. And I got to hand it to Shatner that he did what he could. I from what I hear, they cut the budget like really bad for that movie. And Shatner said, "Okay, I'm going to show good character moments," and he did. He shared the stage with the other two.
Well, there's a reason why the budget was cut. Okay. Well, actually, more than one reason. First of all, William Shatner demanded that he wanted equal pay of what Nimoy was paid for 3 and 4. So that was $6 million apiece. So first of all, $12 million of the budget was already taken up by the salary of those two guys. That was a lot of the budget back then. Second of all, Paramount was looking at the dailies and saying, "What the hell is this?" And they cut the budget.
Kind of like what my friend and I experienced in the final showing of the film in our theater. It was like, wow.
Right. So Paramount was
empty.
watching the dailies, obviously, and they were not happy with what they were seeing. So you can kind of understand that in a way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think maybe there was a little bit of animosity towards Shatner and from certain
Mhm.
people too. That
Oh
maybe
yeah.
behind the scenes they were going, "Let's, well, we can screw this guy. Let's,
Little
keep
Well,
him."
no,
sabotage
but what
going on.
happened?
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
here's what happened was you guys have to remember. Okay, think back to then. Okay, Leonard Nimoy delivered a good movie with Star Trek 3 and a fantastic movie with Star Trek 4, which was a highly
Yeah.
successful, the most popular to that,
Very successful.
most successful to that point. All right, but William Shatner, the only reason why he got 5 was because he had a Me Too contract where anything that Nimoy
Mhm.
gets, he gets. So
Right.
Paramount was like, okay, but you're under the spotlight. You better do as good as Nimoy for if you want to, the same pay, $6 million like him. So obviously that's why they were watching the dailies, and they saw automatically they saw from the dailies this guy does not hold the candle to Leonard Nimoy at
You
all.
know, I do wonder though why Shatner didn't say take a pay cut and just make like 3
Ego.
million and put
I
the other
know.
into the budget,
Because
like because that
But I
would have
still,
made him look better in the long run, right?
it
I
If
know.
he
would,
made a good
but
film.
you have to look at it from his perspective. William Shatner is, to quote the assimilated Klingon in the Kobayashi Maru, the Captain Kirk. Yeah, we'll help you rescue this vessel. We don't want to fight you.
Well, he was also the
The
series
Captain
star.
Kirk.
He's also the
The
guy with
Captain
it.
Kirk.
He's also the guy with his name first in the credits of TOS,
Right.
so that
Yeah.
makes
And I
sense
will
too,
say,
right?
and a reminder still, all respect to William Shatner, especially on your 92nd birthday. You're still my favorite
Yeah,
captain.
hey, we better not turn this into a diss
Right.
Shatner show.
Right.
Oh
But I
God,
will
no.
say this. I attended a convention in LA that came out right before the movie premiered. This is when hype was at its all-time high.
Oh
So
wow!
before it came out, everyone was excited. I saw William Shatner on stage. In fact, I snuck in a VHS camcorder I had to rent. It was
Oh,
expensive.
you have that footage? Maybe you could
No,
share
I
it with some
lost
of
that
us.
in the fire with my memorabilia. But what
That's
happened was,
bad.
here's exactly what William Shatner. That's where
Oh
I heard about the
no!
Me Too contract
Oh
and
man!
how he was getting a $16 a piece. And here's what he said. He said, "Yeah, Paramount really loves Nimoy and Leonard what he did and all this kind of stuff." And he said, "But here's the exact words he said. He goes, but if they want me to make another Trek movie, screw them. I want the same amount of money as Nimoy does, and I want the same amount of control that he did." That was exactly what Shatner said. And I'm
That's
not
what he
lying
should have
about
had.
it.
That's what he should have got. The
Well, he
control. That
did,
was
but
the
he
problem.
did. He did. You got to remember, he did, but they were holding him under a microscope to see if he was doing as good of a job. And like I said, the dailies were showing that he wasn't.
But still, I mean, if he didn't have any control of the budget, he ultimately didn't have control, right?
Well,
If they
I
if they
well,
could
a
guess.
just
lot of
cut,
time.
if
Well,
they could just
sometimes
cut the money back.
yeah, but sometimes a constrained budget brings out an incredible movie. Like look at
Yeah.
gosh, how many of the movies have you reviewed, Pop, that they've cut them? Well, what's the one I'm thinking of?
Death
Invasion of
Race was a
Body
perfect
Snatchers.
example. Yeah, Death Race was a perfect example. Very low budget, but I mean, look what we saw.
Yeah,
They made
Yeah.
they made Death Race for $250,000, and it grossed $6 million, which was a lot back then for a drive-in
Yeah,
movie.
what an amazing film too. Like that is just like, I mean, a small budget film like Death Race is like, to me, 100 times better than a lot of the big budget films I've seen.
And I looked it up since then, and the only cars left that are still existing is Frankenstein's alligator car and
Awesome.
Matilda the Hun's bull car with the horns. Those are the only ones that are still existing.
Oh man.
Yeah,
incredible
and
NER.
even then, the alligator car, I think, is in rough shape.
Oh no, it's actually in fine shape. In fact, it went up for auction in 2018. And you ready for this?
Really?
It sold for less than $50,000.
You're
Yeah.
kidding. What?
Yep. It
Who's
looks
gonna
fantastic.
GoFundMe for that?
Yeah, the only
Shut
difference
up.
is they painted some red on the teeth to look like blood, but other than that, it looks the exact same. There's pictures of the interior and everything if you look it up.
Man, I tell you, if I had the money, I would
It was
have
a
bought that in an
3-speed.
auction.
Same here. It was
That
a
would
3-speed,
that would
and
be great.
they even they refurbished it and they redid the engines. It was like new. It was like, oh
Wow.
my god! When
Can
I
you
was looking
can
at the
you
pictures,
can you imagine driving that sucker to work every day and parking,
I
having
would
your
imagine.
coworkers say, "Wow, that's your car?"
I would imagine. Now, this is the kind of maniac I am, right?
Oh man.
Like I would do like safe riggings on the front and drive with people hanging off the front like they were impaled,
Oh my God.
during trick or treat.
You might get
That
pulled
would be
over.
what I would do with that. I'd
Well,
be
especially
taking the
Matilda
kids
the Hunt's
trick or
car.
treating.
Oh, I don't
Yeah.
think you could drive that car on the street.
Well,
Well, I
Matilda
mean-
the Hunt's car, you could put stuff on. You could put
Yeah.
dummies on the horns.
Yeah, like have people just flailing there.
Oh,
Have
geez.
some like riggings to where you can like move your hands to make them like flail and stuff.
Flail, yelling,
Yeah.
waving for
Have
help.
a wheelchair. We would need a wheelchair somehow hanging on the hood because I mean,
Right.
that's 50 points. That's 50 freaking points right there. So
100 points
Yeah.
for the old people, right? That's the
Yeah.
most.
It was 50, wasn't it? 50 for
No, the most was for the 100, but you can get 50 for babies, so you can have a stroller attached to the side fender.
yeah.
I just love how sick that movie is. It's just it's so good.
Hey, it helped with the population. The point behind it was it was a population culling mechanism in the form of entertainment.
That made sense. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, but still, it's just hilariously funny.
Yeah, and a bit of note, I was reading an interview with Paul Bartel, the director. He was
Cool.
disappointed because he said that he actually wrote a lot more comedy elements into the movie, but the producer, Roger Corman, pulled him out to add what Bartel thought was the cheap gore, the squibs and all that. And I thought that was I'm glad, I like Bartel for the directing the movie, but I think it's perfect that Corman stepped in and added what little gore that we got. I think that balanced it out just right.
I don't
But
think there was that much gore.
But you can't.
No, there wasn't, but it was enough to give you a little bit of shock value. Otherwise, what would have been
Just
the
give
point?
you a little
When you-
adrenaline rush. Yeah.
When you see the car go behind the bush at the hospital, and you see
Yes.
all those patients just like cartoonishly fly up in the air, like
It was the it was the doctors and
Like-
the nurses.
hilarious.
yeah, like
that was great.
that. Yes, that's
That was like
the kind of comedy I
a
like.
Bugs Bunny cartoon or something. I
Yeah,
don't know, man.
it's very
That was just nuts.
cartoonish.
I love that scene. That was a great scene. Yeah, because they totally went. They didn't touch the people that were like out in the wheelchairs or whatever.
Right. Then those old people would have been 100 points each, right? That's exactly what
100
Annie the
points.
Navigator
But they
said.
had the decency to just go after the creepy doctors and nurses who put all those old folks out in the middle of the road.
Yeah,
Isn't that what they deserved?
because they want to get endorsements from the company running the race. That's
Yeah.
you put
And
the people out there.
And I have another totally surprise announcement. And believe me, I'm more surprised than anybody else.
Okay.
I was really concerned about that stream that night because it's very easy to get a copyright strike. And I was trying to edit out the nudity, but there was one scene PvP. I'm sure you remember where I wasn't able to get the nudity.
I definitely remember that. Yeah.
Well, guess what? I've been checking, and there's no copyright strikes on that stream. It's perfectly open. Isn't that wonderful?
Yay!
Just be careful, people. People are inclined to go, "Oh my god, a titty's out!" Nudity.
I know.
Flag,
Yeah,
flag,
maybe
flag.
we shouldn't talk about it on here.
Maybe you should
It'll
edit
be
it.
all right.
Edit the stream and put just censor the nip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll put a little like cartoon, like heart over it or something, right?
Yeah, that's good.
Put a cropped picture of Frankenstein's face over the nipple. There you go.
All right. It was just
If you ever want to know what's underneath the bandages, there's where it's at.
It was just like it wasn't more than a second, right? PvP, I think maybe a second.
Oh, at most. Yeah.
Well, we
And
just had
besides,
St. Patrick's Day.
anybody-
You could put shamrock pasties over the nipple.
Right, but honestly, I think anybody who would be offended by a scene like that wouldn't even be watching the stream in the first place, and they wouldn't get that far in the movie.
Yeah, I
And
don't
nobody
think.
who
Yeah,
anybody who doesn't know what Death Race 2000 isn't going to watch that stream.
Well,
Exactly.
If they
It's a
weren't
cult
offended by
classic
all the
for a reason.
if they weren't offended by all the stuff before the nipple, then they, I mean, that makes no sense really. They
People
probably
being
would have turned it off after 5
bowled
minutes,
over
right?
by death cars.
I mean, they would have
Yeah.
taken a one look of like, the craziness, the media craziness and Frankenstein and all the rest of the craziness, and they would have thought, no, this is not for me.
By the way, Sean PvP, you guys weren't here when we were talking about Carmageddon. There's literally a
The game?
selectable vehicle. Yeah. There's literally a selectable vehicle with a giant buzzsaw coming out of the front end.
Oh my God.
Spinning.
That sounds like my kind of movie.
Yeah. I mean, you could totally, it's the drivable Death Race experience. It's the PC game I was telling you about
Wow.
earlier.
I
Okay,
remember
you
that
imagine
game. I
if there
never
was
bought
a
it, but I
car-
remember it being very popular.
Yeah. Imagine if there was a car in Death Race that just had a big circular buzzsaw like that. Now that would have rocked.
Okay, you guys can see my channel here, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
All right, here's how crazy things are. Look at this. Death Race 2000 restrictions, none. And that's what I was surprised about. But look at this. I'm gonna go down. Gilligan's Island. I got a copyright warning. So go figure, huh?
That's kind of
Well,
weird.
the thing is when it comes to stuff like that, you're going to get a copyright, but it's like a fair use copyright. It's not going to be like you're not getting a strike against your channel.
Well, right. They're just saying I can't monetize or make any money, right?
Yeah,
Well, the
you
other
can't
Unless
thing,
I
too-
unless I cut out, even though it's all in slideshow format, I don't show any
Uh-huh.
video, but they're making me cut out like a few seconds of it, which I'll go ahead and do.
The other thing too, Pop, is Gilligan is a much more well-known entity. It's a
Yeah,
very popular show, right?
exactly.
Whereas
Well, and
Death
it's
Race
right.
is such an
And it-
obscure cult film that it probably
Well, it's
flies
still-
under
well-
the radar, so to
Well,
speak.
the difference is it right? Death Race is obviously owned by a company which isn't as big as CBS. CBS owns Gilligan, so yeah.
Well, exactly.
And,
And hey,
yeah,
who knows? Maybe-
CBS has a hard on for copywriting people.
Oh yes.
yeah.
And honestly, the fact that Death Race is being covered in 2023, 23 years after the timeline date that was taking place in the movie, they'd have no reason to complain. They're like, oh my God, publicity again? Oh my God, somebody's getting 10 cents under their royalty back in.
Exactly.
Hey,
Yeah.
who knows?
Somebody
Maybe
went
Ro-
into the $5 bin and bought a copy. Awesome.
Maybe Roger Corman tuned in that night and watched the stream and loved it.
I
we'll
would
never
be
know.
honored. I mean, he's still alive. He's 98 years old.
Yeah, bless him.
And the lady whose nipple showing is in a home right now.
If she's still
Well,
alive.
I'd rather remember the
And
way she was.
therefore, target.
Yeah, I agree, BBT.
That reminds me. I saw Gene Simmons telling his story one time. He's like, "Yeah, I was somewhere, and some lady
God.
comes up to me in a walker, and like with the tennis balls on it, and she's shuffling. She goes, "Hey, Gene, do you remember me?"
Oh my
And like he's like,
God.
"I slept with her
We
in the
had sex.
'70s."
Right, we had sex. Remember me?
Yeah, he was just starting out, and she was like 30 or 40, and like kind of a MILF at the time, and he's like, now she's
Oh,
shuffling it up to me in a walker.
I think
Hey,
Jim
I-
deserves it, though. Really,
yeah, I
he
wonder-
was kind of he was a bit of a creep with the ladies. I mean, he would
well, they
bang
all
anything
were.
that
All those
moved,
rock
right?
stars were. But I wonder if
Yeah,
she
but
flashed
Gene
him.
was really notorious.
I wonder if she flashed him and said, "Remember these?"
Oh my god!
God. Well, he
They don't look
deserved
like
it.
they did back then. Oh
He
my God, that
deserved it.
memory's gone forever now.
Well, back then they were on her chest, not on her feet.
Yeah, I was gonna say she just lifted her shirt up an inch.
And they were
Right.
it was like plop plop, but without the fizz. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, really.
Right.
No, I never liked Gene Simmons, so he always came across in interviews like an arrogant, self-absorbed, dude.
Well, he was. Yeah, he had a big ego.
Yeah, and he was very sexist with the women, I thought. And yeah, he's not my cup of tea for sure.
But he was unapologetic. There's something about him I kind of admire because he was just so unapologetic
Well,
about it.
He's definitely an
And-
intelligent guy, right? I give him
Oh
credit. Like,
yeah,
he built a great career. He had a great idea with the makeup and all that stuff. And I gotta admit, like the first 5 Kiss albums or so, up till just Destroyer included, I love those albums. They were great back
Yeah,
then.
same here. I bought him.
After
yeah,
that, I
and
totally
he
lost
had his
interest.
reality show for a while, the Family Jewels, which was
Oh,
okay.
God.
I didn't watch
okay.
that.
I never saw that, but
It was okay. They showed a lot of his kids. His kids are good people. His son's a good musician. His daughter is a sweetheart. And
No, I
Shannon
think-
Tweed is just amazing.
he's obviously an intelligent man, and there's probably a lot of good aspects to his personality, but it's just some of those other ones, where the thing with
Yeah.
the ladies and the way he's just like so self-absorbed. And I've seen him like really put other people down, which
Yeah.
kind of brings him down in my opinion. But
It does, and it's
Yeah.
not cool.
Well, okay. Here's a tangent question. Have you guys seen? And I think it's on Amazon. Val Kilmer's bio documentary.
Yes, I
I
have it
have
on my
not.
server.
I
Yeah,
have not seen it.
he has the hole in
I-
his throat, just like those old nicotine commercials, those cigarette commercials. That had
Oh,
that lady had the hole in
yeah.
the throat.
Throat cancer.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had
Smoking,
throat cancer,
chain
but I don't
smoker.
know if he was a smoker.
Oh yeah. In fact, in that documentary, What's interesting is all the time he was making movies, he was carrying around a camera and videotaping. So he's got background scenes of like Tombstone and all of his big movies. And there he was, chain smoking. And so was Kurt Russell. And I'm thinking, wow, Kurt Russell's been much luckier, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, there's one scene where he's filming. He was in a movie with Kevin Bacon, and he had like a VHS recorder, and Kevin Bacon's like, "Is that thing taping us right now?" And he goes, "Yeah." He goes, "That's cool." Like,
right.
It was so great. But what a great documentary! I cried, man. That oof.
Yeah, it's sad. His son had to narrate it because his voice just wasn't up to it. But
So
he says.
Did he lose his vocal cords completely? Or?
No, it's like he has to kind of struggle with the hole in his throat.
Well,
and it sounds like very weak and very rough, but it doesn't sound like him.
I actually have firsthand experience with what that's like because I had a grandfather that got throat cancer back in the late 60s, and he had to have surgery to have his vocal cords actually removed because it was so bad.
Yeah,
and after that, I remember my granddad. He had the hole in the throat. He'd usually cover it up with gauze with a bandage around his neck, right?
Right.
But he couldn't speak. He'd basically have to. He could kind of gutturally make words using his lungs, sort of thing. To it kind of worked, but basically he would just take a notepad and generally write down his thoughts about what he wanted. Right?
Were you really small? Were you very small at the time?
Actually, getting into my teenage years then. This was in the, probably, I think it was late 60s. I would have been a kid then, but I remember him into my teenage years because he lived. The amazing thing is he recovered and lived for like another 20 years or whatever, right?
Oh, wow.
And then eventually, but it came back. And I remember visiting him in this final year at the hospital. He was in a bed for like a year. He couldn't, it was sad. But yeah, I have firsthand experience, and it's throat cancer is not something you want to get.
Smoking, very, very bad, kids. If you're listening, don't smoke.
Yeah, I smoked for 20 years, and I gave it up 30 years ago, and it was the best thing I ever did.
Yeah, Lemon Picker, hello. Lemon Pie. Lemon Pie says hello.
Hey, Lemon Pie.
Hey, Lemon.
Yeah, I quit smoking about 7 years ago, and I got to tell you, I think about it every single day.
Yeah.
I don't miss it. Yeah. The only reason why I think about it is I think about how much better I can breathe, how much better I taste food. But the smell of it makes me sick. I can't stand being around a smoker now.
Yeah, the funny thing was,
I'm opposite. I if someone lights up a cigarette, I will purposely walk through their cloud.
Just to get that vicarious fix, right?
Especially if they just lit it up, that first lit smell, even most people actually kind of like that.
Hello, Lemon Pie.
And I think about it every damn day. It's so hard. It is so hard to quit. I miss it. I mean, if I could have just kept to 1 or 2 cigarettes a day, I wouldn't have quit. But
you would never have quit, right?
Because you only enjoy a couple of them a day. Like when you wake up on a cold morning with a cup of coffee, or after a big meal or something, and it's like, oh, it feels good. But no.
I quit cold turkey and never missed it. It's interesting. Never ever thought about it again.
Same, Pop. I'm the same. I smoked for 20 years. I decided 1 week just to go cold turkey, never bought another pack. Totally stopped. I had no withdrawal symptoms at all. I didn't have any cravings.
I smoked pot. I smoked pot.
I didn't have no, but I mean, I guess, I was one of those rare people that was, more mentally addicted than physically addicted.
Mentally is a lot. Mentally is a lot of it. What I had to do up to like the 2 or 3 weeks before I quit, I convinced myself how much I hated it. I made myself despise it to the point where I was glad when I quit.
Right. Yeah,
a lot of it was the mental part. Was the is having to break the mental. And as far as the hand to mouth habit, that's then when I had to break. So I just ate like carrot sticks, celery sticks, and I bought a yo-yo.
Yeah, habit, definitely. Like it just became because I was up to a pack a day when I finally quit. For a number of years.
Those icebreakers. I bought some of those, but the imitation sweetener gives me a stomach ache. I have to have real sugar.
Well, this is what keeps me from doing them.
Whatever works.
I'm still sucking on these things.
Good. Hey, if it works, that's great.
Absolutely. Yeah. Hello, Commodore Boone. Good to see you there.
But yeah, I miss it.
He changed his name, Commodore Production. So I guess Jim, I'll call you Jim. So
hi, Jim.
Jim says hi, Lemon, and hi, PvP. Hi,
Right.
Oiler.
I had a
and
joke, but the moment passed.
I quit cold
Lemon
turkey
Pie
too.
says
I
he
only
only eats
eat
hot
hot
turkey.
turkey.
That's a
Lemon
good one.
Pie says hi, Jim.
Good to see you, Commodore Boone.
Yeah, but it's like now, I don't know. I can't. If I'm around somebody, even when after they're done smoking, they put it out. If I can smell it on them, I don't know. I don't like the smell at all. It's just, I don't know. It's strange. I guess I convinced myself that I hated it so much that it worked. It worked.
I
I
think
just
it
don't.
has probably something physical too. Like when you're smoking, your body adjusts to it, right, and enjoys it. So your auditory senses, your taste and smell, are used to it. And then when you quit for a number of years, when somebody else is around you that's just, had a cigarette, you really, really notice it, and your
Yeah.
body's like, yuck,
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
but some people,
I don't like smelling it on other folks, and I don't like if someone opens their door or gets out of their car and it reeks like an ashtray. I hate it.
Oh yeah.
But if it's actual smoke coming into my direction, I enjoy it.
Huh. That's
well, yeah,
interesting.
and I know a lot of people who are like that, they still crave it when they smell it. So
Oh yeah,
there's also that.
Huh.
Yeah, you get that little tiny hit. And you're like, yeah, that was good. My dad quit. He was a 2 to 3 pack a day.
My mom smoked. My mom smoked.
God.
Yeah, my mom smoked 3 packs of menthol 100s a day.
That's what my dad smoked. He smoked Carlton 100s, and he quit cold turkey. And my dad was in the movie industry, so there's a lot of downtime, and everyone in that industry smokes because there's nothing else to do when you're waiting 10 hours to set up one 30-second shot.
Wow.
Yeah.
And he smoked, and one day he just finally said, "I'm done. I'm quitting." And he went to work. He was working on the Ally McBeal at the time. And he came home after a 20-hour day, and my mom was still up, and she goes, "So how was it?" And he just looked at her in the eye, and he goes, "Don't fuck with me." And she said, "Okay."
So I take it that was a very solid marriage then.
Oh God, yeah, they were married for.
If you can be that honest with each other, that's probably a good sign. Yeah.
Yeah, because my mom had quit. Oh gosh, in like '96 or something, and then my dad smoked until about maybe 2000.
That's kind of a sweet story, really.
Oh yeah, he just looked at her and goes, "Don't fuck with me," and she goes, "Okay," because I never knew him to swear at her, and that was like one of the only times.
I think even without smoking, if I had a 20-hour day, I wouldn't want to really talk to anybody.
Oh. No, my dad was different. He wanted to talk forever.
Oh, that's cool.
Lemon Pie is not sure why room temperature poultry is so addictive for so many to quit.
I don't think I want to eat. I wouldn't want to eat room temperature poultry, to be quite honest.
Of all the
that sounds like food poisoning.
Of all the habits that I've done with, I can wholeheartedly say I never smoked a cigarette. I'm a drunk.
Good.
I've never smoked a cigarette.
That means your avatar with the cigar is a lie, Tony.
Well, I smoke cigars with certain bourbons, but
okay. I'll give you a pass then.
I don't smoke like a train wreck. I don't go through 2 or 3 packs a day.
Tony, can I ask Tony, when you smoke the cigar, do you inhale?
I do.
Okay.
Fully or just a little bit?
Enough. I inhale it with enough oxygen to where it doesn't screw with my lungs too much because I'm asthmatic.
Okay.
Because that a good cigar with some bourbon, like and in a jacuzzi.
Yeah. Can't pass that up.
I would do that. I would smoke a cigar.
Best bourbon on planet Earth.
What kind?
1792. If you want good cigar bourbon, that's the one you want to get.
And Jim says in the chat, yeah, Boone name was taken away from me by the owner of Name Boone by another production. Sorry to hear that.
Well, much like I'm no longer known as Tony on the text above my channel, I will still call you Boone.
Yeah, Jim, let us know what you prefer to be called, and we'll respect you by whatever you be called, not by what YouTube assigns you. I'll put it that way. Screw YouTube.
Well, yeah, we can't curse the beast that much. It is enabling this conversation.
I know, but it also doesn't really help us little guys either, right?
Yeah,
There's a lot of
it's
little
getting
channels
harder
that
and
are
harder.
yeah, like Orville Nation. He was taken down for no reason, so I don't understand why they're attacking little channels. It's not
Did he
necessary.
get it back?
Not yet.
Oh,
Hello, the lovely Sherry. So good to see you. Glad you could join us.
Hail to you.
lovely Sherry.
Yeah, but I've seen a few people. In fact, it was just earlier today. Somebody else appealed to YouTube, asking them why Orville Nation was shut down, and they, according to that tweet I saw, they've been asking, but no reply from YouTube.
Well, even was it Fet for
YouTube
Hire? I
overlords.
saw Fet for Hire had his other alt channel taken down. There was no content on it.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I saw that too, but it's like, what? Do you think maybe, okay, I was thinking when I saw that where they said he had no content, do you think maybe, like, for example, let's say if I create a channel and if I don't post any content, do you think maybe after a while YouTube takes it down because there's no content?
It wasn't
no?
timed out. I don't think it was timed out.
No, because they gave him a thing like about violating the TOS.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. That's right. It's like, what's up with that, right? Jim says, I put in my community asking anyone for a name, and so far nothing. And Jim says, hi, lovely Sherry. And Lemon Pie says, hi, Sherry.
Oh, we have a lady in the chat. Hi, Sherry.
Oh, Sherry, I who loves out. What?
And for those of you that...
It's like this, like ladies.
Yeah.
We're like meerkats.
And Lovely Sherry says, hey, Lemon Pie. And Lovely Sherry says, hi there, Jim. Yeah, for anybody who just came in, we're celebrating William Shatner's 92nd birthday today.
Has Sherry been in the streams before? I don't remember that name.
Better for me. It's better for you. It's better for everybody. God,
anyway, I just want to say hi, Sherry, if you haven't been here before.
Yeah, Sherry's been here before.
Oh, okay. I don't remember seeing her, but maybe I wasn't on those streams. So.
Yep, and I saw her on the stream.
I think I'm going to binge watch it. I'm going to go through TOS and TNG again, just out of boredom.
Well, that takes stamina.
TOS is always good to watch anytime, any day.
Mm-hmm.
TOS I can watch over and over. TNG, what's interesting is I have all the Blu-rays on my server, but I'll probably never lay eyes on it again. I can't sit through it again. It's just it's not aging well. I'll put it that way.
Not aging well.
After what's
especially
going on,
after what they've done to it with Paramount now with Picard. I don't think I'll ever watch it again.
Anything from Picard, and I won't. I consider that non-canonical in my little brain.
You know, the weird thing with Picard season 3 that kind of shocks me is how many people and I'm talking like some very major channels on here have gone hook, line, sinker and jumped on the bandwagon and they're just surfing the wave like crazy.
Yep.
And I'm like,
and you know what's worse?
Guys nuts? Like what's going
on Twitter? Somebody was saying it was something along the lines of it was a few days ago. They said something like, "Please, everybody, don't post pics of Picard because it's a spoiler." And all I said, well, it's not a spoiler if you don't like the show. And oh my God, they attacked me. So the problem is they're also attacking us that don't like it.
I would, I would never even bother posting anything on Twitter that's going to get attacked. Pop, it's not worth. I would just post, in our group here for, having a live stream or.
Oh yeah, but you know what they do is
right.
The thing is they don't know how to debate. They didn't attack with well, no, I like it because of this. No, it was personal attacks.
Well, they probably don't have a real reason even why they like it because they're not intelligent enough to, have analytical thoughts about anything. So,
Lemon Pie says not just a lady, it's Sherry. Right, but it's why, if anybody think about this, another thing too is if you're a true Trek fan, you know not to attack other people. You know not to attack other Trek fans, regardless of what they think.
I don't even really have any interest in attacking people that love the filth. Like, if they like it, that's great. But
but the thing is
are the most divisive fandom, and I said this on my stream last night.
Yeah, that pisses me off. That is
Trekkers are the most divisive fandom and will fight over the most petty things at a given moment.
Well, I never saw it until I
We
never
will
saw any
defend our
device in
Star
this
Trek.
until 2009 when the new J.J. Abrams came out. That's when I saw them start attacking each other, and it
Yeah,
seems
it's
more
sad.
so now with what's it called? What's that horrible show? I can't even remember the name of it now.
Discovery.
Discovery. That's it. Discovery.
STD.
When that started coming out, they really
SPD.
started attacking. They started focusing their attacks on people who don't like it. So it's like the narcissism from the writers has transferred to the community, is what it is.
Yeah, and then of course, I mean, it's all the names that came along with those attacks, like you're racist, you're phobic.
Yeah,
you're
exactly. Right.
Star Trek has always been progressive. Star Trek has always been woke.
Yep.
And no, it's not true, because if it was always quote unquote woke, and you just don't like this new stuff, then I would have grown to hate the original. But I don't. I still revere the original and the progressive ideas and that. But it was so different.
It was
You know,
apolitical. It was apolitical. It was not divisive.
The thing about TOS especially was it was very progressive for 1966, but it was never woke because it would have a great story. It would have great ideas, great cast, great crew interaction with the dialogue. Everything was working. It would have make you think. Basically, it would take on a topic, say like the Vietnam War or something, or racism, but it wouldn't shove it down your throat. It wouldn't hammer you over the head. It would be subtle enough, right, where they'd put it. I mean, it would never have got on the air back then, if by the network, if it hadn't been subtle enough,
The
put it
network.
in a sci-fi setting to get past the censors, right? And it was never woke. It was very intelligent and very progressive, but it was never woke.
The network actually advocated immensely over, hey, don't make this political. Don't saturate it with politics.
Right. They did the same with all the TV
political either, really.
Right.
I mean,
all the TV shows back then.
overtly.
That was a mandate from all the networks. They did the same with Lost in Space and all the shows. They said apolitical. They said, especially because all the garbage going on in Vietnam, they said, we do not want that. No politics. And that's why
it's like in A Private Little War, which was probably the most borderline one. But you had Kirk and McCoy that represented both different sides from both logical reasons, and they didn't tell. They gave people things. They gave the audience things to think about, but they didn't tell them how to think about it.
Exactly.
Right. The audience. Right. The Enterprise crew did not choose a side. They just said, "Hey, it's sad that these two people hate each other."
Well, you had the Prime Directive too, which meant often they had to stay neutral because that was the rules.
Oh yeah,
right?
that's What is that even more these days? It's like, what is
Was
that?
that not a brilliant concept by Roddenberry? I mean, that's a concept that I wish we.
wait a minute. Wait, hold
was
on.
alive in the world today.
Hold on. Yeah, but hold on. I have to interject. Sorry, Roddenberry gets the credit for almost everything, but a lot of the things were from a group of people, and Roddenberry took credit for everything. Just keep that in mind.
Gene L. Kuhn had a lot to do with that, I'm guessing.
Gene L. Kuhn, Dorothy Fontana,
Dorothy,
Herb Solo, Robert H. Justman. Right, it was a team of people.
Yeah, it was a great team, wasn't it? Yeah.
Right. Let us not forget one of the main people who are responsible for us having this conversation right now, who is Lucille Ball.
Lucille Ball.
Right. Yeah. But keep in mind now, the reason why she greenlit the show is because she originally thought it was about a ship with a bunch of celebrities on board, like the Love Boat.
Right.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
That's what she thought Star Trek meant. Yeah, right. She thought, a bunch of celebrities on a boat. That sounds wonderful.
But I think she would, if she would have known the depth of it, she would have probably advocated for it anyway.
Well, here's what happened is I've quoted before. I have the book here, Inside Star Trek, and I quoted this on Jill's stream. What happened was when it dawned on her that she greenlit the word Star Trek, thinking it was a voyage on a ship with celebrities, and then when she heard it wasn't, she was like, "Wait, what?" And then when Herb Solo called her into a meeting and said, "Lucy, this is what it's about, and this could save Desilu," then she listened to him, and because she's logical and she was a smart businesswoman, she said yes.
Yep.
Instead of canceling it and saying, "No, I don't want that." So yeah, she still deserves the credit.
Stories of Lucy actually showing up on the set once in a while.
During Where No Man Has Gone Before, when they were shooting the scene on the planet, obviously in the studio, but on the planet
Right.
where Kirk was fighting the bad guys.
Very
Right,
cool planet
right.
setting
They
too.
said during or in between scenes, okay, how they put cameras on dollies, and that's how the camera
Right,
would pan
right.
across through. Okay, so unfortunately, the track that the camera was on would very often get covered with sand. So they'd always have somebody following along the camera with a broom to help sweep the tracks and keep it clear. You got that?
Great
And the
job.
guy, right, and the producer said one day he looked up and there was Lucille Ball sweeping the tracks off the dolly off the
Yeah, I thought I'd read a
track.
story like that. Like she was right in there, like the
Right,
janitor, right? Just pitching in,
right,
like
and she
low level help, and it's like,
right
bless
every
her
time.
soul.
All right, she would right even during the filming because another Desilu production was the
That's
Dick Van
awesome.
Dyke Show, and
Oh
during the
yeah, I
Dick Van
love that
Dyke
show.
Show, Mary Tyler Moore in an interview said that they were doing their spiel and she heard laughing and she looked up in the rafters and there was Lucy
Yeah, it
watching.
was Lucy.
Lucy
Awesome.
spent day and night at that studio.
I think Lucy really must have been an awesome, awesome producer,
Right,
whatever you
but
want to
if you
call her.
work for her, just don't call in sick or say you need time off. That was the problem.
Well, I mean, Lucy set a high standard for herself, and I guess
She
she
did.
expected her coworkers to, follow that, right? So,
Right, but I've had bosses like that before, and sometimes they tend to forget. Sure. Excuse me.
you okay there, Pop?
Yeah, no, I need
No,
water.
the thing is, I
Sure you don't
understand. I mean,
smoke, Pop?
No,
we
I
all
need
need
water. But what I was
we
going to
all,
say is, what they tend to forget is I've had bosses that were just like that, and they
yeah.
say, "Well, I hold you up to the highest standards I do," but you say, and this is the truth is, well, you've got a lot more to profit and gain because you own the company. I'm just an employee who's paid by the hour,
Well, the thing
and
is,
they
too,
they
Pop,
forget that. They do forget that.
any employer should give the employees a certain number of sick days allowable every year, right?
They do, right?
Like that's the way it is at the company I work for. If I call in occasionally, when I wake up in the morning, I'm feeling really bad for whatever reason. I'm just not feeling good, and I know I'm not going to be able to perform at my job, at anything close to 100%. I'll just call my boss, and she's like, "Oh, no problem, no problem. Just make the hours up another day." And it's like
Yeah.
that's the kind of boss you want to have, right?
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
but
like
especially
I'm
if your
taking
boss,
tomorrow off of my day
right?
job, and my boss, she's like that. She works insane hours. Like I'll get emails from her, and I'll
Oh,
look and
my
like,
boss too. Yeah, she's a
yeah, like 3
workaholic,
in the morning,
basically.
timestamp 3 a.m. And thankfully, she does. She goes, Sean, I will never expect you to do what I do. And
Oh
she
yeah,
had
my
to force
boss.
me. She's like, take
Yeah,
Friday off, darn it. You haven't had a day off in
that's
forever.
awesome. Yeah,
Yeah,
I can totally relate to you, man. Like my boss is exactly the same. Like she's got a family and responsibilities and she's such a hardworking lady. She amazes me, quite frankly, and she respects all of us employees and treats us really well. And she's the kind of boss you want to work hard for, right?
yeah,
Because
exactly.
you want the company to be
Well, yeah, if
successful,
they
and
treat their employees well, yeah, you return
yeah,
respect.
it's like a two-way street, right? And it's like, yeah, it's just like, if you have the occasional sick day, there's no problem at all.
And my boss, Mr. Burns, he's kind of a jerk.
I would not want to work for Mr. Burns.
No,
Smithers,
and
how dare you?
Hey, Mr. Burns.
You're
Is,
fired.
is there
I
a
want to
romantic
shout
thing
out.
between Mr. Burns and Smithers? I've always wondered about that.
Well, not officially, but
I get that vibe though, some episodes.
Well, I won't say this, but there was some particularly goofy glaze on the donut.
Oh my God.
I wanted to
It was
mention.
ironically tasty.
I'm
Sorry,
swearing
Jim.
off donuts now.
Sorry, Jim, for the delay, but Jim Landscape says, anyone see my latest Star Trek fan film video?
I have not.
No.
Jim,
Do
if
we
you're, let
Do
me
we have
see. Now,
Jim's landscape channel somewhere?
yeah, Jim, I was going to say, Jim, do you have I'm going to make Jim a moderator so that you can, here we go. Let me add you as a moderator, and please put a link to your channel in the chat if you can. That way I
Yeah,
can
that'd
share
be
it up
great.
here on the panel.
I'm not
There
sure
you
if
go.
I've
You are
subbed
now a
Jim or not.
moderator, Jim. And I apologize for the delay in getting your chat posted. I usually try to keep up a little quicker on the chat.
Oh, by the way, guys, I just want to mention, since we were talking about Picard season 3, At this moment, it looks like the Phantasmagorium is we're talking about episode 6 of that series. And of course, Scotty's probably saying he loves it. And Jill's luckily there, probably defending, we folks who love Real Trek. And I imagine she's doing her best to stick up for Real Trek. So it's on there
Well, it
right
doesn't
now.
matter because that's the show where he doesn't read chat. So that's telling everybody
Well, that's the
unsub and
thing.
don't come back. So yeah,
Hey,
I don't go to
why
that
do you
channel
think?
anymore.
Why do you think I'm here?
Yeah,
I could
not
really just
very.
given up on that show,
Yeah,
but
it's not.
yeah,
Yeah, he's not very. Yeah, in fact, one time I remember that I tried it out. This is like maybe a year, several months ago. I tried it out, went over there and thought I'll give it a try,
right.
and I was being ignored, and so was everyone else in the chat. And I thought, well, screw that. And Captain Finity was having a stream. I went over to Captain's channel. I said hello, and then like 3 or 4 people from Scotty's channel all came over, and they all said the same thing. Yeah, we came here because we're being ignored.
Oh
So
yeah,
there you
yeah.
go. There's a message for you there.
I went on a few times and I didn't get treated well. And well, he's got a producer or whatever that I really don't particularly like. I won't mention any names, but people probably know who I'm talking about. And he was so disrespectful to the chat. This guy. I was just like, I don't need this crap.
Jeez.
I can go watch something fun, right? So
Yeah.
I
What is
did.
the point?
Yeah,
Good,
exactly.
good to see you. They call me nobody. Good to see you, buddy. Years ago, I got double pneumonia. I was down for 2 weeks. By the way, they didn't call me nobody. I got double pneumonia. I was in the hospital for a month and a half. The company I worked for let me have the time off and even raised some cash to ensure my bills got paid. I learned a lot from them. That is so cool. I wish I would have had that. I went in debt because I was in the hospital for a month and a half, unfortunately.
Well, I'll tell you, anytime I've taken a sick day, I get paid the same number of hours if I had worked on my paycheck. So that's pretty amazing.
Like I took a
Definitely great
PTO
to have
day
those benefits.
today.
Yes.
Yeah, if I miss like 8 hours, for a sick day 1 week, I'll, on my next paycheck, those 8 hours will be on his sick time, right? Which is, which is great. I mean, it blows me away, really.
And Jim's Landscape says, cool, thanks for reading my comments. It is my pleasure, Jim. It is my pleasure even more so to have you here. Because I know everyone's time is valuable. And when they come and spend their time on my channel, it means more to me than anything else. And
Well, I
there's a
gotta
link
say,
to
Bob,
there's a link to Jim's video. Everybody, please check that out. And sub to Jim's Landscape channel. And
I
go
do,
ahead,
I,
PvP.
I do enjoy hanging out on your streams, probably just about more than any other channel, really.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate it. And I enjoy you having you here. You're a wonderful voice of reason and
I always try to contribute.
hilarity. Right?
Well,
And
yeah, unintentionally sometimes, but I guess so.
no, you've never given me a single issue or problem, and I think that's
Thank
fantastic.
you. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
That means a lot, man.
yeah. I think I'm very blessed and lucky with the people I've had on my panel. I'm very happy. I get some really, really smart people on here with a lot of perspectives and points of views, and it's great.
Yeah, I think you've had really great panels, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, I consider myself very lucky. Yeah. So, and I always give credit to obviously the chat because without the chat I wouldn't be here, and most of all to the fellow panelists because, like I said, and I'll say it again, I've said it before, your time is very valuable, and when you spend it with me and at my channel and my stream, it really means a lot to me. And I do my best to try to return the favor for you guys when you have streams. So I try to sub to everybody that comes to my channel. If I'm not subbed, then remind me. Say, darn it, you're not subbed.
Thomas says, "Why don't you get up there and subscribe to my channel already? Damn it!"
And Jim says, gave you a thumb up and shared you out. Well, thank you, Jim. I appreciate that.
Grazie
if you
By
guys
the
like
way-
what you see, consider hitting the like button and maybe share this out to your friends.
By the way, guys, I was like at 64 subs like a month ago, and I guess maybe because I've been on so many live streams lately, I'm now. I checked, the other day, and I'm up to 78 now.
Nice.
All right. Hey, well then, PvP.
I gained like 14 subs or something in the last month, and it kind of blew my mind, actually.
It sounds like you're going to be ready for 100 live stream celebration then here soon.
Once I
PvP.
get the live streams going, yeah, I'm hoping for even more. And yeah, I really want to do a live stream one of these days. I probably won't have time because I got such a busy weekend coming up, but hopefully in a couple of weeks. Well, actually, my birthday's coming up in May, so I'm thinking maybe do a birthday stream at some point.
Yeah,
well,
there
maybe
you
we
go.
both can. Maybe we both can. Mine's the first.
Mine's the 15th.
There you go. 2 weeks apart. That's perfect.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, I was thinking today. It's like, yeah, that'd be kind of fun to do.
My birthday is on the 30th of November, guys.
Well,
we just
that's
missed it.
kind of a far away.
No, did I say November? I meant to say February. I screwed up my own joke.
Oh, we definitely just
nobody.
missed it. That was just a few weeks ago. And They Call Me Nobody says, Pop, it helps that you are intelligent with great views. That's why we are here. Thank you. They Call Me Nobody.
Yeah, speaking of that, nobody subbed to my model channel the other day, so thank you, and I subbed back. And speaking of that, I cracked 100 the other day. I was floored.
Congratulations
Awesome.
on the big
Very cool.
one.
Wow, cool.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
very
Yeah, I'm
nice.
like 109.
And
now.
Jim says, Hi,
I'm
nobody.
just absolutely floored.
And nobody says, Cheers, Jim. Excellent. And great panel and great chat again. It's like, nice.
Hey, I just got a question. How many subs do you have to reach before you get like a community page? Because I still don't have one.
100, I think, is the minimum.
Oh, I'm getting close then. That's good. Well, hopefully by the end of the year, for sure, I should have that then. That's good.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why I was able to post to it. I put a little thing like, thank you, everyone, for 100 subs. Okay,
yeah.
cool.
At the rate you're going, PvP, it won't be long at all.
I still don't have a community page, and once I get that, that'll be great because then I can like post anytime I'm doing anything, right? Which will be awesome. So
yeah, I remember when I first got it, I didn't know what to do with it. I was like, "What is this? What is it for?" And Jill had to kind of explain it to me.
Okay.
Now, PvP, are you doing any regular videos, or are you just doing mainly live streams?
No. Anybody who on here has known me from past streams knows that so far I've never actually done an actual content video because I have never gone live, and I really haven't been sure what I would do anyway. My main thing on my channel is I put up. I'm a big fan of music. I love music. Like I gotta listen to music every day. I mean, I think music. Years ago when I was going through tough times, music basically saved my life because it just boosts your day, right? Makes you feel good.
It's a healing, especially when you're having a bad day. Oh, it heals.
It makes you feel so good. Yeah, exactly. And so basically, my channel is full of music playlists. I have album playlists from my favorite albums. I've got playlists with videos. Like I've got a Canadian video playlist. I think it's like 150 videos or something. I've got.
Oh yeah, you were talking about that the other day about groups like Canadian groups that not many people have heard of before.
Yeah, you go and check out my channel and type in Canadian groups. Well, just look at my playlist and you'll probably find it. There's so many great Canadian bands that I'm sure a lot of people have never heard of. So yeah, I got all kinds of stuff on there, but it's all basically music based at this point. So hopefully I can do some sci-fi, horror. Stuff soon. So
here's a suggestion. So like if you do some live streams, you pick a cool topic, do a live stream, and then just post some clips from those live streams as videos.
That's what I need to start doing too. Yeah, it's a good idea. Yeah.
Just like
highlights. Yeah, like highlights. Yeah.
Like the shorts.
Yeah, highlights,
right?
like a 5 or 10 minute clip of a live stream of a particularly engaging discussion, and then because a lot of channels do that, and it's like. It's a great method.
Great idea. I'll have to put that one in the memory banks. Yeah, thank you.
They Call Me Nobody says you have cool models, bro. Makes me want to build again. That's you, Sean.
Oh, thank you so much, man. I have to respond. So there's someone that commented on one of the videos, and they said, "You got me wanting to get into modeling again," and that almost made me cry. Because that's why I'm doing the channel. It's like, I have to go in and respond to them.
And welcome, They Call Me Nobody. Glad to see you, sir.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of had to pop in when he brought up obscure Canadian bands. When I was 17 years old, I was a roadie. It was my summer job, so I needed a new car. My old one was pretty well pooched. And I spent the summer going around Canada with Chilliwack / the Headpin, the same fucking band. They just changed singers. Okay.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Well, I was just a grunt. Like seriously, I just packed stuff in and help set it up and stuff.
Well, I got to tell you, I saw the head pins. You know, it was like, what was their name? Courtney Miles or something like that. It's been so long, I can't remember. What was the female singer's name?
Oh
again?
gosh,
Darby Miles.
Darby
Miles.
Mills.
Yeah. Okay, I
And-
saw them in my local community hall back in like probably the mid 70s, sometime in the 70s. They played a great set. They kicked everybody's ass. It was awesome. And I don't know if you might have been the rodeo roadie backstage. Yeah, that's cool, man. But yeah, I remember that. Oh man, she was a firecracker. Like, wow, what a singer. And that was a great show. Yeah, the Headpins were great band. Actually, they got a lot of great videos. I think I probably got some of the stuff on
without
on my,
the Headpins.
playlist.
Darby Mills showed up with a put together band at a casino in Calgary a few years before I came out here.
Okay.
She's older than me. She's in her at the time.
Yeah, she must be getting up there by now because she was probably in her
She could
20s
still
back
belt it out, dude.
70s.
She looked really good, and she could still do the scream.
I always thought she was pretty hot, and she did have a hell of a powerful voice. Yeah, she could really belt it out. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, she was pretty cool.
Well, and Jim says I was trying to put out a video every week.
Hey, Chilliwack was a damn good band too. They had some pretty major hits.
I was so excited to get that job, man. I couldn't even sleep the night before we were to go off the first time. I was just a train wreck.
That's very, very cool. Yeah, that's very, very cool. Wow.
I have absolutely no clue what you're talking about.
I know. I'm from the States, so yeah, same here. Sorry, guys.
I'll have to educate you guys about great bands like Chilliwack and the Headpins because they have a lot of great tunes.
Those are some cool names, though. The Headpins.
The Headpins.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was there a band called the 710 Split?
Band, one of the first heavy metal bands with a chick singer. And they kicked ass, man.
Yeah,
you got to look some of their music up.
Their first. Actually, you know what? I'm going to see if I can find the Headpins' first album on YouTube tonight, and I will try and post it in the next few days.
Oh, that'll be cool.
If you guys want to check it out, I will. I'm sure I can probably find it because that first album is just kicks ass.
Yeah, it's really unbelievable. Good. They really blew onto the scene. Everybody I knew had that album.
Yeah, me too. I had that album.
Turn It Loud.
I had it.
And,
yeah.
Yeah, man.
Everybody had that album. Yeah, that was really an incredible. Well, they talk about great debuts like Led Zeppelin or whatever, right? But man, the Headpins had a very great debut album. They definitely did. Yeah.
And Jim,
Pop, I think you were trying to say something.
Yeah, I'm on the replay.
Anyway, you probably bored all the Americans now by.
Oh no! You guys are fine. No, the whole point is that's why it's an open topic. So I appreciate that. I encourage that. Jim says I'm trying to put out a video every week, so please everybody check out Jim's channel. And Dr. Byron, Tony says subscribe if you want to see Homer get fired, and there's the link right there. Everybody check that out as well. And nobody says, what do you cover, Jim? I think we know now.
TOS.
Star Trek TOS.
I definitely got to check that out then.
Yep.
I cover the ladies with my warm embrace.
To me, there is only the original series. I don't
Same here.
Anything that came afterwards.
Same here, nobody. Same here. So yeah, Jim, I'll be all over those videos. Yeah. In fact, as you guys know, as right now, Jill is already covering TOS, and that's because she chose before I could. Otherwise, I would have. But I go on her channel every Tuesday, and we go episode by episode of TOS. But I want to start doing highlight reels of TOS, bloopers, and behind the scenes facts. That because right now I kind of interject with her streams because I read from some of these books inside Star Trek and stuff with some of the knowledge that people don't know about. So I'm going to start putting a little bit of shorts out there with TOS, maybe some mistakes, bloopers, and things like that. Maybe see how that turns out.
You did put a blooper video up a week or so ago, didn't you? I remember watching it.
Yeah, I do have a couple of blooper videos, but that's all I'm able to find as far as blooper reels. But I'm talking about bloopers that are within the episode that people haven't spotted.
Oh, okay. I have a mixed mind about those. I'm like I don't know if I want to see it because then you can't unsee it.
Oh, it's okay. It doesn't spoil anything.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few doozies in Next Generation.
Gentlemen,
Oh, well.
that was the dong 5 minutes ago. It's time for me to go to bed.
Oh, well, thank you, sir,
I have
for
a
spending time
big
with us.
day tomorrow. And thank you, Jim's Landscape, for the subscription. I will be
And
sure
everybody check out Tony's channel sub because he's going to have some interesting trolling of Kevin Smith tomorrow at the convention.
If I can get it done, I'm going to get it done.
Damn you! You've got us supporting you. Yeah, we're behind you
Lord
there,
knows,
Tony.
I'm sure the hired goons are going to see my phone sticking out of my pocket and go, "What's that? Is it recording?" But I am going to try my damnedest. So,
Tony, don't, Dad, don't.
Yeah, it's such a beautiful film. I can't believe they did that.
It's so beautiful. Triumph.
Dude, your Skeletor rant on him. I was racing home to come on the stream, and I heard you do that, and I almost ran my car off the road, dude. That was so good.
How dare you? You ignorant fool! You bubble-headed booby! How dare you? Beastman knows better than to provide this level of insubordination. Yeah.
You know, dude, I bet you if you went in with that shtick, he would probably like laugh and probably engage with you.
If he realizes what it is, he may not even know.
Well, they'll do the whole thing like, you canceled He-Man on me.
Well, you know the fans around
I'm
you would know.
here
They'd
to
start
find
laughing,
evil
right?
Lynn. I want to be cuckolded again. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Dude, you got to try, man. Why not?
Yeah, thank you, Tony.
Well,
Get
I
some
will
sleep.
definitely have an approach, maybe several.
Tony heading out. Night, Tony.
Well, good luck, Tony. You've got our blessings with you.
Yeah, get some sleep, man.
Yeah, yes, I will, and yes, I'm gonna make like a tree and get out of here. So
check out Tony's channel, everybody. Tony, would you like
I'm
to tell
already
us about
subbed.
your channel
I
before you
subbed
leave?
long ago. I think I've actually been on a few of Tony's live streams.
I'm going to be doing some video essays about why the multiverse sucks coming up in the near future. So expect about 10-minute snippets of those.
Sounds
and
interesting.
we'll be exploring the beginning of the concept and going all the way through what people are doing now in this wonderful year of our Lord 2023. And yeah, that's my scheduled like video content. You can always party with me on any Sunday that I am opted to do. I sing songs, I do voices, I bring up random panelists, and I just hang out. So hope to see you all there. And God bless you, Pop Culture Curator, for having me on.
My pleasure. Thank you for being here, sir.
Yeah.
In the beginning. Thank you.
Yes.
And sub to Tony if you want to see fairy godparents.
Oh my God. It's there's only one logical solution to this very problem. Timmy Turner wished it so with his fairy godparents. Mystical creatures.
Yes. Subscribe to Tony, everybody. Fantastic. Thank you, Tony.
He does great impressions. That's for damn sure.
I agree. Yes.
Yeah.
Excellent. And Jim also says, my channel has lawn care, snowing, Star Trek toys, puppies, and all kinds of stuff. All the more reasons to subscribe to everybody. And I'm now official subscriber of Jim.
Man,
so thank you for being here, Jim.
You know, when you got everything from lawn care to TOS, you've got quite a wide-ranging channel there.
Exactly right. You'll never get bored there.
Well, maybe you could do like a shrubbery in the shape of Kirk or something.
Well, as Captain Kirk, I was known to trim a bush here and there.
Right. Just ask Edith
Keeler, right? God. That's good.
And Jim says, I sub to you, Star. If you're still listening. So, Tony, yeah, thank you. Very cool. That was fun. That was good to have
one of my favorite moments in Star Trek, the original series, is when they cut the scene to Kirk's in his room pulling his boots on.
Oh,
it's clear it's clear what just happened.
That was when the episode was
and, you know, like, oh my God.
That was
Wait,
by
wasn't
any
that in
other,
a few episodes?
that was by any other name, wasn't it? The episode title?
I believe you're right.
Yeah, I think that was the episode. Yeah,
Wait,
I
who
just
was the
watched that one
female?
not long ago.
Who was the girl?
Well, they were aliens.
Oh wait, no, it was I'm sorry, yeah, that was I'm thinking of the one with the lady who played Pulaski.
No.
Diana
This is-
Muldaur.
Yeah. Raina?
Oh, I can't remember I know the
There's
title of the
Rojan,
episode.
it was
I can't remember
Rojan
the name
and
of the
Hanar.
aliens. They basically wanted to take over the Enterprise. I think they were going to take them to another galaxy.
Yeah, they were from the
something.
Andromeda Galaxy. It was Rojan was the leader, and Hanar was like the pasty guy, and I think it was Raina was the girl. And she goes,
That
"Do you
sounds
apologize
like,
to me again?"
That could be, yeah. But Rojan was so jealous. I remember that he was trying to kill Kirk, and that was pretty.
Yeah.
That was a fun episode, actually.
I had, it's funny. I had a viewfinder. Remember the viewfinder toy?
Oh, I used to have those.
3D.
I had that episode from that. I remember.
I think that was the
Wow.
episode they actually chose for the viewfinder reels. Actually, if I remember, yeah.
Oh man, that's why I remember it. Yeah, I remember seeing the giant die 20.
I remember the 3D looked pretty fantastic through those things.
Viewfinders are pretty cool. Yeah, that was pretty fun back in the day. Yeah.
Yeah, he turned them into those dodecahedrons. I think that's.
Oh, that was horrible! Like when he crushed them, and he actually. That was the only episode of TOS I think where a red skirt died because he killed one of the female.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
The girl died. Yeah.
Oh, that was like, oh my! I thought, wow, that's very dark for TOS. Like
it is dark.
Yeah, to kill a
this
woman.
person is dead.
Wow. That's one reason that episode gained some bonus points for me because that was a hard hitting scene for sure.
It was, definitely. I still remember that as a little kid. I was like, "Whoa, okay."
Yeah, I thought it was disturbing the first time I saw it. Actually.
And Jim says, "I am subbed to Teague and Jill, and was unsubbed to Sci-Fi, but we talked." Oh, okay.
You unsubbed to Jill?
I don't know. Maybe he had a reason. I don't want to highlight that too long, but yeah, that's okay.
Unfortunate.
That's
but I'm still subbed to Jill. But oh well.
And I can agree with some of that, so I had no problem with it either.
Well, sometimes.
So is that Scotty's channel?
No, Teague is Admiral Teague, Jill is Andrew Jill, and Sci-Fi is Sci-Fi Nation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I've never been subbed to Sci-Fi Nation's channel, and I never will. But I'm not going to elaborate because anybody who knows him probably understands why.
If people want to unsub, they're right. So,
but I did post in my community tab that yes, so Tuesday 6 p.m. Pacific. If you're listening, if you're available, if you have the time, we are going to be reviewing in detail Kingdom of the Spiders.
Well,
and I'll try to see if I can dig up any.
I'll probably be 90 minutes late, but hopefully you'll still be going by 7:30. So
I'm sure.
What time are you starting, Pop?
6 p.m. Pacific.
Okay. Because I start work at 5:30 Central.
Oh crap!
So yeah, I'm gonna have to just lurk with my earbuds in.
Yeah,
sorry about that. And Sean, I have a question. Sean, do you have an avatar yet?
Not for this channel. On the Sci-Fi Model Guy, it's just like a silhouette of the Enterprise.
Okay, well, let me know. Let's get together, and I can help you make an avatar. And same with PvP. Let's get yours updated. What do you think?
Yeah, I probably need. I have no idea what I'll change it to, but
I'm just talking about something close up, so that your head fills the frame like most of it.
No, I don't want my head to fill the frame.
No, but wait a minute. Like me either, I wouldn't want to put my picture up here, but like mine's a cartoon figure, so we could play around with it. It doesn't have to necessarily be your face, but we want an object that can fill the frame. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I have no idea.
Like Sean said, his is the Enterprise. That's fine. That's something like that works.
Okay.
Yeah, mine's just a black and white silhouette of the Enterprise that I picked. It's pretty. I like it because it sort of stands out. I don't have one for this. I used to own. I had a graphic design business way back when I was needing work.
Cool.
Well, you
So-
can use that same one on all the streams you go to. You can use it on here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
I
man.
don't know what I don't know what I would change. Oh, the
Yeah,
thing
if
is,
you like that one, Sean, you can continue using it. I was just wondering because I noticed you didn't have one here, so I thought maybe you didn't have one. But if you already have one, yeah, sure, feel free to use it.
I've just been
Yeah.
lazy. I mean, if you have any ideas, I'm open. I've just been lazy about it.
I think the Enterprise would probably work if you got a cool Enterprise.
Well, yeah, I was going to say something to incorporate models because that seems to be your forte. So I would
Yeah,
agree with
actually
that.
do something with your models. That would be awesome, man.
Yeah. When I launched the channel, I was trying to think like, should I separate that from this? Because this is just hanging out and talking, but I don't know.
If I had a choice, if my humble input would be, Sean, that if models are your forte, I would say put those as your avatar. That'll help promote your channel because that tells you, hey, everybody, this is a Star Trek fan, and yes, you have other interests. You're here because you have other interests. But when you're here and you're talking, people will see that, and they'll say, wow, this guy likes TOS. This guy likes models, and that'll help advertise your channel. Perhaps.
Yeah, maybe something to do with the TOS, model kits of some kind or something.
Oh wait, yeah, that reminds me, Sean. I've been forgetting to ask.
Yes.
What happened with Mexican Iron Man?
Oh, I shipped his model out today.
Cool.
Okay.
So
is he going to do an unboxing? Do you know?
Yeah, he did. I asked him, would you mind doing an unboxing video? And he goes, hell yeah, I will.
Oh, right. Okay. Yes, keep us up to date with that, please.
Yeah, I remember.
It's gonna arrive to him on Monday. I can't wait because I'm really anxious also just to post the final couple chapters of the build. I don't want to put it on there and spoil it because he doesn't know what the display looks like.
Oh, good God, he's gonna be surprised. My God, I'd be overwhelmed.
That's cool.
Yeah, I'm anxious for it. So yeah, I started filming. I'm doing my Enterprise C build, and then I got the Defiant coming Monday for Tony. Then I'm going to do that as a build. I'm trying to do stuff that's like currently in the market. So if people want to do something, follow along because I actually have. I'll turn on the camera in a second.
And Jim says, "Thanks, Pop, for subbing. My pleasure, Jim. My pleasure. Believe me, much more. Thank you for being here and supporting my channel." Jill skips over my comments.
I'm digging around.
I want to address something really quick here. Jim says Jill skips over my comments and Teague rips apart Star Trek. I'm a big time Trekkie all my life. Jim, just a little bit of background detail. Jill's a friend of mine, but I want to let you know is she gives Scotty control over the chats. And I noticed that because Jill used to read every chat when she had control, but she gave Scotty control. And what he does is he's selective and he'll skip over certain chats. Even mine, when I'm on her stream, Scotty skips over them and only reads the ones that he wants her to see. So that's why I stopped going to her live streams. She did one last night and I didn't even go on it for that reason. And it's really sad. I wish Jill would see through that.
Was that her gaming video?
Yeah, she did a gaming video last night, but he's been in charge of her chats now for a while now, over a month or so.
Yeah,
and I'm not the only one. I brought this up on Captain Infinity's channel a few days ago, and I didn't even say the name. I just said there's a certain channel somebody who I thought was a friend of mine who gave control over the chats to somebody else, and they seem to like to skip over a bunch of chats, only read the one, and then suddenly everybody in the chat starts saying, "Yeah, Jill's channel."
Yeah.
So believe me, Jim, we're not the only ones that have noticed.
Yeah, it's kind of sad, really.
I wish Jill would see through it because I don't understand. She really likes him for some reason.
I do too. I don't get it either, Pop.
Well, let's just say everybody puts up with Scotty for Jill for some. I don't put up with Scotty anymore. He's banned. You'll no longer see him on my panels.
Well, I'm glad it's not
Jill, I know for sure. Right. Obviously I'm not Jill and I don't know her personally, but I know that when you see chats being skipped over, that's Scotty.
It's disrespectful. If you're going to, let's put it this way. If I had a live stream and people were chatting, gracious enough to honor me with their time and their chats, I would try and read every single chat every time.
Same here, and I feel bad. In fact, I can tell people, I say, hey, everybody in the chat, if I skipped over your chat, if I didn't mention it, please let me know. Please shout at me. Call
Well,
me a
the only-
dumbass,
Some
whatever.
people
and I'll
will tell you when you get enough, when you start getting some serious traffic, you can't do it. There's just too much going on.
Oh no, but
Yeah.
what I
No,
do,
no,
right,
no.
right,
That-
but
that's
like
the thing.
but they call me nobody. What I do is, like, for example, when I have some of my streams, is Gorillas Random Thoughts. I gave him control over the chats, just like I said Jill did with Scotty.
Oh
But
yeah.
with
If you
with
can
the
get a co-host,
stipulation,
yeah.
right? With the stipulation, the gorilla, I highlight every chat, every single chat. If I'm talking, interrupt me. I want every chat read, and he does that. So that's what you got to do before you hand over control.
Yeah, Gorilla's a good team member with you on
He
the
does, and I can trust him,
Gilligan
right?
streams. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and I can
Gilligan's a
trust
good
him.
guy.
So he does that.
I
And
mean, Gorilla's a good guy.
he is. He's a good guy, and
Yeah.
he highlights every single chat. And that was my
Yeah, he's
instructions
really
to
good.
him. My instructions. I said, Gorilla, I don't care if you interrupted me. I don't care what's going on. I said, I want you to highlight every chat and read them out. I don't want anybody skipped. And he says, okay.
Well,
It's very simple.
I think especially for us smaller streams, when we're like, having that huge numbers, it's valuable to acknowledge everybody that participates, right? Because they're taking time
Well,
out of
right,
their
and like
work
I said, right, and when
you
people,
know.
for everybody, their time is valuable, and when they go on a stream and they're in the chat, they're engaging
Exactly.
with you, and when you ignore them, that is totally disrespecting them.
Well, I mean, let's face it, in our crazy world, how many people have the decency to even bother to engage with you on a meaningful level? I mean,
Yeah, most of them don't, unless
I
it's a super.
value
Yeah,
that greatly.
right. That's why there's a lot of big channels that I stopped going to because they got to where they only read your chat if it's a super chat. So you got to bribe them if you
Oh,
want them to read it. So
yeah.
I'm sure you guys know who I'm talking about. Probably those are the channels I don't go
Yeah.
to anymore.
I think there's a very big, well, I was going to mention that there's a super, super big channel that,
He's
Jill
on
loves,
several
and
days a week.
she's on
Yeah.
there every Friday. And I do give him credit though, because he does try to at least spend like 5 or 10 minutes acknowledging as many people as he can. But he's so huge, there's no way he can, right? But yeah, it's just like I don't know. If you ever got that big, it would be very, very,
Are you
very
talking
hard to
about
do.
Doomcock?
Yeah, I didn't want to say it,
Well,
but
no, it's
yeah,
fine. And here's the thing: he sees everything. So, like, you could have some random person in there saying, like, "My mom died." He will see it and he'll read it. I think for the quote unquote big streamers, I think he's trying so hard
I think
to
as
keep
far
that
as
up.
the big streamers go, he's probably the last one I have any respect for because a lot of them have flip flopped over to Love and Picard, right? Which I think is
Well,
kind of
yeah,
sad. And
I
he's still,
unsubscribed to Nerdrotic because of that.
yeah, me too. He still resists, because he still loves TOS and all the original stuff, right? And I think he's in his heart. He's controversial. I guess he has some rants and raves, but I think he's basically a very good man in his soul, from what I've heard on his streams. And I do enjoy his singing and all that, and
Yeah.
I do enjoy that he does try to acknowledge. The amazing thing is, I'll tell you this, guys. I've been probably sub to Doomcroc for like 3 years now. I have never, ever never one time given him a super chat. Never.
To who now?
To Doomcock. I've never
Oh.
given Doomcock a super chat because I'm a senior and I work for a living and money's tight and I got bills to pay and rent to pay and I just don't have money to be giving super chats to anybody, right?
Yeah, but I've heard him read your name.
He's read my name over the last 3 years. I bet he's read my name 100 times.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you know why it is? Because I'll put something in the comments that that is silly or crazy or witty or whatever, and it catches his attention and he'll acknowledge it, right? And he'll have a laugh and he'll respond, right? And it's like it's so much fun. Like, so that's the reason I still say sub to him, even though I do think Friday Night Frolics gets a bit repetitive, so I haven't been watching it as much lately because I have other stuff I need to do. But I do
Well,
respect I do respect the man for what he does. He's worked very hard to build his channel up.
Yeah, and I stick with it because the community is great. That's how I've met all of you here. Pop, we kind of met through there. You had a different screen name at the time.
That's how we met. Yep. I was when I was super blubberpuss at the time. Yes.
He was one of the pillars where I met a lot of you guys. And
and he keeps that, and the community in that is still the same. There's a lot of good folks in there, and it's just part of my thing. And I came into that channel right around the time my dad passed away.
Oh, sorry to hear that, man.
Oh well, thank you. It was some time ago, and I remember he sang. Doomcock sang some weird song. It was like, "I am calling you." And it brought me to tears because my dad used to sing that to the dog to make it howl. We had this German Shepherd, and my dad would sing, "I am calling you."
That's a great story.
And I commented on it in the chat, and he noticed it, and that just hooked me. And then from there, I've come to get to know a lot of people and stuff. So I go back to it, and it's like a warm blanket to me.
Yeah, it is. That's Friday Night Frolics is like that. Every time I go on Friday nights, there'll be it's tragic, but every time there'll be a few people that have lost somebody that week, and he'll always take
the pity party. Yeah, there's like an hour and a half of pity party. Yeah.
I don't think it's a pity party though. I think when people are suffering and they've lost a loved one.
But PvP, some of them are like, my mom died 20 years ago on this day.
No. I'm talking about like someone if their best friend or their wife or somebody died, like in the last few weeks.
Right.
He'll take the time out and sing the song that they requested.
No, I know. I have no problem with recent stuff, but there was people. I had no problem with recent stuff. None at all. No disrespect. But there was people all the time just for attention. They would say, "Oh yeah. My sister died 20 years ago on this date," and it's like, "Oh my god!" And so
I think he's probably going to basically ignore those people after.
Yeah, he does.
No, because they send super chats. They want to make sure they're being read. They want attention.
Well, I haven't.
Well, if it's a super chat, that's
I honestly have to disagree, Pop, because I have not noticed that myself. I'm not trying to disrespect you, but I mean, maybe it happens, but. Well, for most of the time, it's like I just lost my best friend last week, or my mom passed away last week, or whatever. And he'll sing the song that they request, and I mean, there's not a lot of big giant channels that will do that, right? Most of them would even read the chat.
I wanted to mention here that Jim unfortunately says I only have 1,059 subs. I'm sorry, 1,061. I'm like 1,000. Right, so you have like
10 times more subs than me, buddy. So and you're complaining?
Exactly. He's apologizing because he has like 10 times more than me too. So okay, Jim.
Wow.
So Jim is obviously doing something right, everybody.
I think I was the 1,061st.
Well, I was 1,060 because I subbed to tonight.
The over 1,000 is part of the qualification for monetization, isn't it?
Right. So that means Jim must be monetized. Maybe he can get
some. Yeah, nice.
Yeah, I'm years away from making any money on this bloody channel.
See, I was talking to my wife and I broke 100 and I'm like happy. And I'm like, you know what? It would be so neat to be monetized and not to quote unquote make money, because there's no way I'm going to quit my day job making models. But it would be neat to be monetized just in the fact that I'm reaching a number of people. Yeah, and that to me is what that represents. So that would be cool.
Yeah,
same here. It's like that's a goal that sure I look to achieve it, but I can promise you guys and mark my words, I'll never sell out, which some of them do. It's like, believe me, even though you're monetized, you'll never see on my commercial. This commercial is sponsored by Manscaped. Let's spend a few seconds talking about Manscaped. You will never see that on my channel.
Yeah.
Because that disgusts me more than anything. And I will unsub from channels as soon as they do that. Right now, I'm having trouble.
Manscaped's a good product, dude.
Yeah, but right now I'm struggling. I've been listening to Midnight Dates from the beginning, and I'm having trouble struggling to watch the channels because they're so full of sponsorship now that I don't know if I'm going to watch it anymore, because it's either that or it's like Surfshark. I guess it's toned down, but I just don't. I don't like it. I don't like
Well,
it.
I remember they had the established
Raid Shadow
titles for a while
Legends,
before that
right?
blew up
Raid
in their
Shadow
face.
Legends is another one that they keep
yeah, I'm
pushing.
sick of those ads.
Dude,
I'm
Raid Shadow
watching-
Legends will sponsor a dog.
I
Well,
used to be a big fan
only
of
a dog
Ben
would
Shapiro.
take the money. Then only a dog would take the money.
Hey, you know what though? I can't blame anyone for taking a sponsorship. I wouldn't. Who
Well,
knows what money situation
that-
someone might be in? And
As
it's
soon
like,
as
you
you
know
take
what?
money,
Okay.
as soon as you take money, that makes you a shill. It makes you a shill.
Guys, can I put
Yes.
in my 2 cents worth?
Absolutely.
I've
Go
got
for
a
it.
channel I've subbed to. This is going back like 4 years, probably when I first signed up for an account so I could talk to people here. And I was really down. I was unemployed. I actually went to the community resources here and took a 2-month course, getting back into the workforce, which was incredibly fantastic. I had 3 beautiful ladies I was taking classes with, and they were all awesome. And one of them was actually the lady that got me my present job. Amazingly, she actually called my employer and she said, "I think I got a guy here that could really work well for you." And it's been like over 3 years of awesomeness since then.
Very cool.
And he's a great guy, but he does occasionally take a sponsor. Well, he doesn't really officially ever take a sponsorship, but he will do videos occasionally for a product that he believes in and uses. So I don't know if that classifies as a sponsorship, but anyway, I just want to say this is a guy that's got chronic pain, right? He is in such pain that he puts arm patches on every week just to control the pain. Like that's pretty serious pain, right? And he's got like neck pain, back pain, and basically he's got like a malformation at his, the back of his neck and his brainstem, and he's waiting to probably get surgery on that. But he's an incredibly awesome guy. Let's put it this way. Every time I watch one of his videos and I post a comment, usually within about 20 minutes, he will respond by leaving a heart, and a thank you.
Oh, very cool. So
Yeah.
he has a
Anytime.
YouTube channel? He has a YouTube channel?
I do have it. I am actually going to try and post it here. He's in Ontario. His name is Canadian Stub Muffin. His real name is Larry Graves. He's got a totally insane, nutso sense of humor. So it might turn. I remember once on Facebook, I recommended his channel to somebody, and they blocked me the next day.
Oh well,
So that's kind of a badge of honor, right? In a way.
Well, yeah, they're lost, right? They're lost.
Yeah, exactly. I just posted it. Hopefully that'll go. Anyway, the way I found this guy 4 years ago, I was just on YouTube one day, and you know how those cat videos come up on your page sometimes.
Oh yeah.
Okay, Larry had done. His name's Larry Graves. Larry had done this video about vacuuming his cats. That's true. He has a video about several videos about vacuuming his cats. And I couldn't believe what I could, in disbelief, I watched it. And I thought that was one of the funniest bloody things I'd ever seen.
I'm sure he gets a lot of views. People love cats.
As soon as I watched it, I thought, this guy is nuts. I got to subscribe to this guy. And over the years, I've actually even been on some, he does a live stream occasionally, not often because he's in such pain. But I actually have been on some of his live streams. He's made me his only single moderator, which he's honored me with. And yeah, he's an amazing guy. I highly recommend him. He's a really sweet guy. He's had a tough life. He's actually had one wife that died of cancer when she was 40. He had a second wife that divorced him. He now has a beautiful young girlfriend named Molly. That they are such a young, she's much younger than Larry, but they are such a sweet, beautiful couple. I just think Larry, and he just lost his beautiful cat, Jinx, back in December. And Jinxie was like 20 years old. And she died of cancer, and it was very sad. So I know, God, I'm monopolizing the stream. Anyway, please check out Larry. He's a really sweet guy. I'm sure if you ever sub to him and made a comment, he would definitely. I know he would respond to you like almost instantaneously. He's
Very
a really
cool.
sweet guy.
Okay, and I'll post it in his link in a second. I'm going to first say, because Jim's been patiently waiting. Jim says, "Yeah, I'm
Yeah, I'm
monetized the
sorry, I'm
first
motor
month."
mouthed.
Oh, you're fine, PvP. Jim says, "Yeah, I monetized the first month. I made 118. It took 2 years for me just to make $100, so it's not so cracked up to be monetized." No, yeah. From what I've heard, you make very little money off YouTube. But like people like Doomcock, come on, he said people are sending like super chats for like $100, 200, 300, 400. So that's what I
Doomcock
think the
must
real
make
money is.
$1,000 a week on super
Yeah,
chats.
that's where the real money is with those super chats. And there's the
Totally.
link that PvP put up for Jim's channel. Please check that out.
Actually, it's Larry Graves.
Larry. Larry.
Yeah,
He's actually got-
Jim, I think I wouldn't downplay yourself. I mean, yeah, maybe it's not like you're not making a living off of it, but I think it's an accomplishment. I mean, it's a struggle. I mean, think of how many hundreds of thousands of YouTubers there are, and just to hit that milestone
There's
of being able to be monetized.
Probably millions, actually, when you think.
Yeah,
right.
But
And not only that, though,
just to hit the
he's
just
probably
to
only
hit
getting
the,
like a penny per ad or something like that. So it has to add up.
well, yeah, and I guess what I mean is just to hit that pinnacle of the point where you're actually even making a penny. That's an accomplishment. You are reaching people. I mean, there are 1,000 people out there, more than 1,000 people that are tuning into what you have to say, and that, I mean, gosh, how awesome is that? That must feel so cool.
I agree. I'm blown away that I got 78 subs for basically not having any videos, just playlists, and I'm like so honored. Like every person that actually adds a sub to my channel, I'm like, wow, this is so good. Thank you guys. I really
It's a good
appreciate
feeling,
every
yeah.
sub.
Right, and when you know that they're real people that appreciate it all the more.
Exactly.
I'm sure you guys,
honest human people.
Yeah, I'm sure you guys know that there are certain channels out there, and one of them that we mentioned earlier that buys fake subs, right?
Well, yeah, I have no use for that. I would never do
Right,
that.
Does what now? I missed what you said, Bob.
There are channels out there who buy fake subs.
Oh,
what they do is they'll pay third parties a certain amount of money. I don't know how much, and then they'll set like 1,000 bots to sub to their channel. But then all that takes is eventually a YouTube algorithm will weed all those out because there's no activity on those accounts.
There's always a fight. There's always ways people are fighting that kind of stuff. But you know, like you had made a comment about Midnight's Edge and stuff, and at first, I did see the sponsorships from them, and the last few months I've seen I don't see sponsorships coming into their videos so much anymore. And even if they do, I'm okay with people taking sponsorships if their content doesn't change. And I think Doomcock and Midnight's Edge have mainly kind of maintained, maybe grown a little bit here and there, but slowly and more organically. And those, the content's not changing. I'm still listening to Midnight's Edge, 3 times a week when I'm working.
Well, right, and I will say that if they do, as long as I can skip through it, I'm okay.
Yeah. And here's the thing. I think the way Tom is, I don't think you have to worry about them getting too big. He's gonna scare off too many sponsors. Like I love Tom. I absolutely love Tom, but sometimes he just can't.
Yeah,
keep
Tom
it in.
is my favorite. Yeah, I love Tom. Him and I, we align a lot in our tastes.
Yeah. And he's great. But I just like the dynamic of the show, and it's stable. I agree. Like I unsubbed to Neurotic because he got too big. You watch that show on Friday, the chat is going through 1,000 miles an hour, and he is ignoring chats that are even $50.
I was done with him as soon as he partnered up with Geeks and Gamers. I was done.
Another thing about Neurotic, I think I unsubbed like a year ago.
LD.
It was like every time I put a stream on, it was like politics. And I was like, no, I don't want to hear politics. Like,
check out this channel here. Jim put a link out there. Sorry, I want to say yes. And hello, Deej. You got us. Welcome, Deej. Evening all, says Deej. And hi, says Jim. Hi, Jim Landscape Commodore Productions, says Deej, and Evening Pop Culture. Deej, I'm glad to see you here. I know it's late for you. Deej is a hardworking. He's the farmer that puts the food on the table.
Nice.
His bunny outfit, that is.
I hope he doesn't go to work in that bunny outfit.
Well, if he does, he'll get a lot of clicks, I'm sure. Sometimes
I
he
bet
makes
he get a
videos.
lot of looks, yeah.
But he does
There's some
videos
jobs
like
that pay really good money for that, though.
That's one of my favorite Christmas films of all time, though, I gotta say.
There's a video out there of me in a great big fat rabbit suit riding one of my triples through the snow.
You gotta post that one, man. You gotta post that one.
Yeah, that'll get you some watches.
Put that on your channel.
I was saying that this is how the Easter Bunny makes it up to northern Canada.
Oh my God.
Deej says, no, I don't go to work in the bunny outfit.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah,
I love
yeah,
Christmas Story, though.
Yeah,
Christmas
Deej,
Story
that's good Deej, to hear, Deej, but I am brokenhearted.
Deej, there are some jobs that would pay really good money for that, though.
Yeah, I want to see.
actually,
I want to see. I want to see Deej in the bunny outfit driving a combine, running over jackrabbits. Just kidding out there, PETA organization and all that. I really don't mean any harm on animals. I have dogs, so I was only kidding.
Dude, up here, when I've got to clear snow, I've got this wheel loader, and I've got a plow and a bucket and forks so that I can unload trucks and shit with it, right? And it's a big machine, man. Every now and again, you'll be pulling back some snow and, to clear the yard, and you'll see this little red streak, and you realize you've come across a mouse nest.
Ooh.
Ouch.
Oh.
You can hear the rattlesnakes are breeding now.
What? No, thank you. That's why I like the North. People are like, why do you live up there in the cold? Well, because there's no fucking snakes or giant spiders. That's why.
Huntsman spiders.
Oh, there we have a bit of good news. Deej says he might go to work in the Greatest American Hero outfit this year, though.
Dude.
Very cool. Yeah, I love that show.
I would love to go to a Comic Con wearing that and see how many people actually recognize it.
I know, right?
What a great show.
It
and
was.
a song. What a theme song. Speaking of music, PvP, I'll drive sometimes and listen to that theme song and just sing it out loud. And I love it. What a great theme song that was.
It was, and then it was the casting with William Catt and Robert Culp and the beautiful Connie Selica. Oh my God!
I have a few thousand songs uploaded into my. I've got a 2015 Dodge 1-ton, and it's it's got all the bells and whistles, and you can just upload music into the stereo.
Nice.
One of the ones that I have out of those thousands of tunes, it's the G.I. Joe from the 1980s.
Oh, sweet. Real American hero.
Oh, yeah.
Fighting Cobra and Destro. Hell yeah, man.
Does it come complete with the sound effects, like the TIE Fighter sound that they threw in there?
Oh, yeah. No, it's the actual intro. It's cool. It's short, but it's pretty cool. Friend of mine heard me playing it a while ago, and he's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, those Cobra soldiers had worse aim than stormtroopers. Never hit anything.
Dude, like when G.I. Joe actually came out, I was I was getting old. I'm in my late teens, and I'm watching things like Thundar the Barbarian and whatnot, and then G.I. Joe came out. That's actually what drove me into the military, man. Nice. I kid you not.
Wow. Were you a Mountie?
No. I spent 6 years total. That's for a Canadian. That's 3 tours. The first 2 were basically just training. And then the last 4, they liked my work. They liked my, they just liked everything I did. So they threw me into a
nice.
called Joint Task Force 2.
There we
Wow.
go. There's our preview of the greatest American hero, guys.
You got to get a curly wig, dude.
Curly wig.
Yeah.
We get. Hopefully, we'll get to see some flying action sequences, right?
I loved him flying. It was hilarious. Like he just the best part about it is he's got all these superpowers, but he really doesn't know how to use them.
You know,
No,
right?
we're
And that was
talking-
great. That was great for the plot because that way each week they were able to introduce a new power instead of having them all up front.
Greatest American hero we're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I figured so.
Thank you
It
for saying
makes me
that.
wonder,
Great
is like,
picture.
is that where the Wayans got the ideas for Handyman? Remember Handyman on In Living Color?
Handyman, that's
yeah.
a great name for a superhero.
And you know what's so funny? That Handyman was such an incredible idea because they couldn't cancel it because it was elevating handicapped folks. And he's like, just because I'm handicapped doesn't mean I'm not able to be a superhero.
Yeah,
and
they
he
love that
up and
just
away,
like,
and he just
they
fall
love
out
that
of
just
but
as much as the fire department loved Fire Marshal Bill.
yeah, exactly.
The thing I was thinking, I wasn't thinking handicapped at all. I was thinking like, you guys have never seen the Red Green Show, which was a big Canadian hit in Canada. But when I think of handyman, I think of like a handyman, right? That can, fix the plumbing or, do
like
some woodwork.
Schneider.
Yeah. The shtick with Red Green was he'd always fix everything with duct tape, right?
That's what my kids
No
called
matter
him.
what the problem was, duct tape would solve it every time.
My
And
kids
it
called
was
him duct tape.
hilarious.
So you know what? That joke works in LA too, but they use Bondo.
Well, same thing,
Oh
right?
God.
Yeah,
But Red
Right.
Green.
Pop,
Oh yeah.
Get this.
Deed says Stripes made me go into the military. Great film. Yes.
The Red Green Show
Bill
ran
Murray.
for 15 seasons in Canada here. That's how popular it was.
was it kind of like Second City Television?
No, let's see. It was kind of like it was like Red Green. It was like, backwoods kind of comedy. It was like they had the lodge and, they'd be in the lodge and there was always these crazy characters and it's hard to describe actually. You know what?
I always liked it. I always liked how he ended things with, just remember, if they don't find you handsome, at least they can find you handy.
Handy. That was the line. Yeah, I'm going to post the Wikipedia thing here in the chat, and then you guys can go check out
Okay,
Red
Deej
Green
says,
for your heart's content.
I watched
Deej
Red Green
says,
for years.
Red Green is
Deed
awesome.
says,
Hey,
"Stick my finger in the light socket." And Jim
I
says,
gotta
"Wow,
say-
there you go."
if you've
Go
never
ahead.
watched the Red Green Christmas specials at Christmas, you are not living. They are there's a couple of them and they are absolutely hilarious. There's
Anyone
one
on
where it
Facebook?
starts out he's curling with frozen turkeys.
Okay, hold on a second.
If that doesn't get
Jim-
your interest, I don't know what will.
Jim says, "Anyone on Facebook? My Facebook link is in my videos." And Deej says, "I'm not Canadian and I love Red Green Possum Lodge."
Yeah.
Deej
Possum
says, "Duct tape
Lodge,
forever." And PVP, there's the link there, the Red Green Show. And Jim says, "Red and Green Show, love it." Let me ask you guys
I'm gonna
this:
check it out.
me being in the States in California, is there a way I can find it to watch it? You guys know?
I'm not sure. I'd have to check on that, Pop, but I will let you know. By the way,
It's called the Red Green Show. Is that right? Red Green.
The Red Green Show, and he actually had suspenders. One of them was red and one of them was green. Crazy, I know. I'm looking at the number of episodes. Guess how many episodes?
Wait till you see his van.
300 episodes.
Wow,
I'm
This show
looking
was
now.
popular. Yeah.
that's success. That's
It was-
success
yeah.
right there.
And actually, even after the show ended, he would do live tours doing his stage show with the same comedy. So that's how popular it was.
Oh, it is available, and I'm gonna find it. It says the Red Green Show seasons 1 through 15 plus the movie.
Oh, fantastic.
22.75 gigabytes. I'm downloading it now. Thank you.
I think you will. I think
won't-
you'll
I
love
won't-
it, Pop.
say how I was able to obtain it, but I will say there it is.
I think you'll love it though.
That's why I
'Cause
love
it's
listening to
kind
you
of
guys. I
very,
get all these suggestions.
it's kind of very traditional comedy in a way, but it's also cutting edge and weird enough where it can, it can appeal to a lot of different people. So it's a great fun show.
It's very.
Oh,
It's
Deej,
so different from what you're not gonna.
Oh, you
Don't.
wouldn't get it on TV today, I bet.
Yeah, I don't think you could get away with that show on TV today.
Yeah.
oh, probably not. Yeah.
Yeah, some of it's pretty
Deej
crazy, but
Odyssey says Red Green was always on PBS stations. That's where I learned. It's funny. Thank you, Deej. PBS. I grew up. That's how I was introduced to Monty Python and Benny Hill and all the other good classic stuff.
Same
So
here.
thank you, Deej.
PBS.
yeah, well, the thing is, in Canada here, we always had on the CBC Canadian Broadcasting Channel, right? So that was where we got
But it's a
it.
Canadian produced show. Is that right?
Oh, totally Canadian.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Totally.
It's much like Trailer
Gotcha.
Park Boys. It was actually funded by the government.
Actually, I'm going to look. I will actually read you the network history. It was on CHCH TV from 91 to 93. Then it went to CFPL TV 93 94. Then it went to YTV 93 to 94. Then it went to the Global Television Network in 94 97. PBS in the US, CBC Television 1997 2006. So yeah, it was on a lot of different channels apparently.
Oh, very cool. I'm excited. I can't wait to see it.
But yeah, if you just take a look at the Wikipedia page, that should give you a pretty good idea. And it's probably, I would bet that Red Green is probably in the top 3 or 4 most Canadian comedy series of all time.
Oh, which reminds me, what do you guys think about Bizarre? I do have that.
Oh, I love
Bizarre, John Biner.
John Biner, and that's where we
Yes.
first meet.
That's
a
Super
great
Dave
show.
Osborne.
That's a great
Yeah,
show.
Super
Bob.
Dave. By the way, when I was in the Air Force, right? When I was in the Air Force, there was a Christmas celebrity appearance where celebrities were at a panel in Fresno, California. And my mom called me and said, "Well, Skipper, can you look at down there?" And I said, "I'll be right there." And I went to meet Skipper, and there was Billy Barty sitting at the table.
Cool.
And it was right after they canceled Bizarre, and that was my question because most people didn't know who Billy Barty was, and my God, I knew who he was. So I was like, I started saying, "Oh my God, I've watched you in this and that." I started naming off all these things, and I asked him, I said, "Why did Showtime cancel Bizarre? What's going on with that? I love Bizarre." And he's like, "Yeah," he goes, "It's just the money. They didn't want to spend money on it anymore." I'm like, "Oh, what a shame." But Billy Barty was so nice. I was able to shake hands with him. And yeah,
That's cool.
yeah, I love
That's
Bizarre.
awesome,
I loved
man.
it.
Oh, Bizarre was a great series. And you know what? The thing I love most about Bizarre is that it introduced us to Super Dave Osborne.
Yeah, God rest his soul.
Oh, and Super Dave was so damn funny. I mean, it was just so good. I mean, I can't think of a single episode with Super Dave that I watched that I didn't laugh my ass off. It was just
I love it when he always
This
is
is nuts.
mutilated and saying,
Oh,
"Mike,
he
you
can-
nuts, help me!"
he could like pile drive into the ground like where there's nothing but his head left, and he'd be like,
Right, his head in his shoes.
What was it?
Right.
Was his Japanese producer or helper or whatever the hell he
Right.
was?
The stunt coordinator.
Yashimoto or something. And
Yeah,
he'd be
that's
go, yeah, and then he'd curse him. There'd be like, he'd curse them, but they'd garble. They do the sound effect, of course, because they couldn't say like "you effing," whatever. And it was so damn funny. Oh, I love Super
You know what's
Dave.
great about Super Dave is he was so slapsticky, but yet there was such a subtle Bob Newhart quality to him.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like it was just
yeah,
a
dry humor,
subtle
right? The dry
kind of-
humor.
Yeah, it was
Exactly.
this very dry humor,
Very dry.
which like no one can do that. Like slapstick is Jim Carrey, it's crazy. It's Robin Williams, but he was able to put a Bob Newhart twist to it.
Yeah, Super Dave was great.
Yeah, and there was an
And,
episode that Jerry Seinfeld show on Netflix, Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee. If you have Netflix, check out the one he does. He does go to coffee with Super Dave.
Cool.
And it's very touching and it's very sweet.
Wow.
And he did one with Gary Shandling
Wow.
and He's done others too, and it's a lot of these folks have passed away. He did with Don Rickles. He did
Too many
Mel
passed
Brooks and
The great
Carl Reiner.
Mr. Lovable.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
So,
I dearly miss Carl Reiner. That man was a genius.
Yeah, and I love that the comedians in Cars Getting Coffee. Jerry Seinfeld goes to Mel Brooks' house with Carl Reiner, and they're sitting down in front of a little TV in a den watching something and eating TV dinners. Or they're eating they got food from a deli or something, and just to see Jerry Seinfeld staring at them in awe, it's just
definitely legends. Yeah. D. Johnson says, "Just look, they're all on YouTube too." And
nice.
D shares a link. Everybody, there's a link to Red Green
probably
TV.
A lot of them are. I don't.
Thank you, D.
I don't think you can find the one really great Christmas special though, which I looked for last Christmas. They got the 30-minute one, but there's an hour-long one that's far, far better. And I don't think I could find it back in December. So I'm not sure where you could ever find that one actually.
Wow, that's incredible. Again,
Well,
I've got so much to look forward to. It sounds
so
great.
Nuts. Well, let me put it this way. The hour-long Red Green Christmas special starts off with him. I don't know if anybody in the States knows what curling is.
Yeah, but it's like kind of like hockey, but it's like a flat rock.
Well, basically, curling is like you have an ice sheet with two ends, and both ends have like a circle. And
yeah, a big disc, a big heavy disc.
Yeah. The closer you get to the center of the circle, the more points you score. So
it's like shuffleboard on ice with brooms to guide the thing.
You roll your rock and your broomers sweep it to make it go where they want it to. And that's how you score points. Anyway, the beginning of the Red Green Christmas special I love is he decides to do curling with frozen turkeys. It's totally nuts. You have to watch it to believe it. It's so funny. And then there's other stuff, other crazy stuff in it. Like, oh God, what is it? I'm blanking out, but it's just so funny. There's scenes where he goes.
How the hell do you throw an out turn with a turkey?
I don't know. It's nuts.
And God is my witness. I thought turkeys could fly.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm talking too much, but yeah.
Another legendary show.
Oh, the other part I remember was he's going over to his relatives and he has to cook the turkey, the Christmas dinner. So he decides he's going to cook on the way to driving over. He's going to put all the food under the hood of his car. So he puts the turkey, he puts the potatoes, he puts the.
Is that to cook it or to keep it warm?
No, to cook it.
Okay, gotcha.
He actually puts the mashed potato. He puts the potatoes in the wheel rims of his car. I know it's nuts, but he puts all the food and he drives. And of course, then at the end of that, he actually takes it out of the car and he's eating it, on camera just to taste test it, right? And there's a scene where he gets the potatoes that he had in the wheel rims. And I guess it's like salt rock or something they put on the winter roads. And he bites into the potato and it's like crunch, 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 heavy crunch. And he's like, whoa, that's really salty. And it's like, oh God, it's just, I laughed my ass off. It was so funny. Anyway, I've talked way too much. Sorry, man.
So, Pop, I'm gonna scoot out of here. It's 1 o'clock here for me. So,
yeah,
late for me too.
Yeah, I should probably go soon too.
There's a link to the curling episode. Thank you, Deej.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely look up that Red Green. So, I just want to show. This is one of the kits I have.
Oh, nice.
It's a 350 scale, so it's 13 inches long. I can't wait to light this one. That's going to be one of the ones coming up because you can still buy this thing. And then the other one I grabbed off the eBay, which one day I will do, is right here.
Nice.
It's the Enterprise B.
Wow, fantastic.
Very, very hard to find, but I don't think I want to do it right now because I want to do models people can build along with, and it's hard to find that thing.
Okay, gotcha.
And then I found I have somewhere down here. I have a Maquis ship that I picked up, but I'm not going to do those. I'm going to do the Defiant. I'm doing the Enterprise C sneak peek. So I've masked all the little windows there.
Ooh, oh yeah,
Oh, that's cool.
green.
This
tea,
was
okay.
2 hours worth of work.
Wow, that's a lot of work, man. Gosh, wow.
Yeah. So here's the saucer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Wait. Where? There we go.
You
Yeah,
gotta
so
show us
I'm-
that when it's finished, man.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's a translucent model, so you can actually see. You can see through it.
Wow.
The,
Oh, that's
the light. So you mask off the windows, and then you put black, and then
damn.
long explanation. But
Wow.
yeah, this one you can buy right now. They just released it, so I'm doing the Enterprise C. It's my favorite ship, and that's it. And then after that, it's going to be the Defiant for Tony.
fantastic. Can't wait.
That's great, man. Awesome stuff.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that with us, Sean.
Oh yeah, thank you. I'll do my Kevin Smith again.
Cry if you can.
And nobody. Nice to be on a stream with you. Thanks for
Yeah,
the sub.
definitely. Nobody's
Hey.
great. Yes.
Thanks. You're welcome. Actually, I had a look at your channel. It's pretty good.
Oh, thanks. I'm learning. Like this last one, I learned a lot of stuff on the first series. So this new one I'm doing, I'm timing myself. I'm making sure not to repeat certain phrases, and I'm giving myself ample in and out time where I'm just kind of sitting there like this, so I can have an intro fade and an outro.
Right.
It's interesting what you learn, and I'm sure if
It
Jim's
is.
still out there,
He
You're
is.
probably
Jim just
sympathizing.
posted this. All my ships on my fan film are CGI. I'm definitely going to check them out. And Jim, I will leave comments and likes on your channel. So I will leave footprints behind. You'll know, and breadcrumbs. You'll know I've been there.
yeah. Pop, can you put Jim's link in the chat again, like right now? Because when I get off, I'm going to go and copy it and sub to his channel. But
Jim,
I'm on my phone, so I
You have
can't
that?
really.
Did I make you a wrench? Let me see here.
Yeah, you made me a wrench.
Gotcha.
But,
Yeah, and Jim,
but
you're
I meant like for
Jim's
Jim's
also a wrench.
channel.
Yeah, that's what I meant. I'm asking Jim. Jim, can you post a link?
Oh,
I made him a
okay.
wrench. If he's still there, he's saying thanks, everybody. Have a great night. But Jim, yeah, if you're there, put a link to your channel so Scotty, so Sean can link to it. But no offense, Sean.
Good night.
I don't want the name
No.
Scotty to be associated with Scotty R37 because I love Scotty so much, the character from Star Trek. So, and good night, Jim. Sorry, nobody. Nobody's gone. So I'm talking to nobody. Nobody's gone. Good night, nobody. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
getting late. It's getting late.
And I
Jim
just want to
said,
say,
thanks, everyone.
as
Have a
far
great
as
night.
as far as Jill's channel, I love listening to her, and I didn't know that someone else was running the chat thing for her.
And
But
I just
I
realized
do.
I have a link. I have a link to to Jim's channel. Oh, there it is. There's a link to Jim's channel. Please check that out, everybody.
Cool.
Sub. Which I was just going to post that too. I was just going to go to his channel and copy it over. But there we go.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jim.
But
I can't
for,
wait to check out his videos. My goodness, that sounds fantastic.
So many
yeah,
good
but
channels.
I just wanted to just before I go, supporting Jill. I didn't know the other stuff about how the chats are picked and all that stuff. But
Yeah, a lot of
I
us
think
don't know, and
Jill
it's
is-
sad.
Yeah, but I think Jill is just a charming, wonderful person, and there's so much sincerity in those videos. I look forward to hearing them.
Yep, I agree. I'm
especially when you're on.
I'm a big fan of Jill.
I think most of us would agree. Actually,
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's a very
and,
sweet person, and yeah.
Jill's probably one of the nicest people I've ever met. To be quite honest.
Yeah, she just the sincerity just comes through the speakers.
Well, the thing is, I had an aunt that was very religious, but she never pushed my religion on me, and she was always very loving, and she was just this loving. Let's put it this way: if Jesus had a disciple, my aunt would be one. You know, she's one of those very sweet, loving people, and
Very cool.
Jill reminds me a lot of my dear departed aunt.
Yeah,
Yes, Jill's the
Jill
sweetheart,
seems like
says
the
Jim.
kind of person if I disappointed her in some way, I would feel like dog poo.
Yeah, me
Yeah.
too.
I've done
Not
that
only
once
that,
or
though,
twice, and I very much did.
and you know what? What's interesting? This is going to sound narrow-minded, but it wasn't until I met Jill that I didn't know that there was actually women out there who enjoyed space and science fiction as much as we do.
Mhm.
So that is rare. She's smart and she loves sci-fi, and it's like, oh my god, where was she 30 years ago for me?
I wish I could actually meet a woman, closer
Right?
to my
Every
age,
woman I
like
met, they
Jill.
were like Star Trek, Star
If I
Trek. I
could meet
don't
a
like
woman
Star
like that
Trek.
in my real life, I'd be like, hey, hey, let's get together. It's like, damn. But
Yeah.
I think everyone has it in them to enjoy sci-fi. You just got to bring it out of them. Like my wife was
Yes.
that my current wife. Never, you wouldn't peg her for a sci-fi fan, but I noticed like when I've been gone for a while working, I come home, she's put Star Trek on.
There
She
cool.
you
watched.
go.
So we
That's
have
cool.
great discussions about it, and
Awesome.
I think
That's awesome.
everyone's got a nerd in them.
I think
But
the thing is sometimes, if somebody doesn't seem like a sci-fi person, if you just find that right perfect show for them, they can be like the gateway sci-fi, they might get
Yeah.
into it all.
or the right episode, not
Oh,
just the
that
show,
too.
but you find the right episode to show them and say,
Right.
aha,
Something
Oh
right.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Yeah. It's like if I was going Star Trek, I'd maybe start with like City on the Edge of Forever or something, right? I wouldn't start with like what was that one, the one
Right.
with the
Trouble with
kids.
tribbles, something like that.
Well, I don't mind Trouble. Trouble. What was the one with the kids shaking their
Well,
fists?
No, but I'm talking about
oh,
episode that might attract
That was
someone else.
horrible. Or how
fire,
about
And the children
yeah,
shall lead.
yeah, that's the
the
one.
children shall lead, yeah.
I would not start with that episode.
No. Or the apple. Or yeah.
Spock's brain,
How
turnabout
Fox
about
Brain,
intruder.
I can tolerate that. The one that really bugs me, I can't remember the name, but it's the Hale brother. It's like,
well, yeah,
no, I
what
don't.
was
Yeah,
the
that's the apple.
space
Oh,
hippies? The
No,
space
it's
hippies.
the space
'Cause
hippies. That's that's
something
my least.
Eden.
Was it
The way to
Eden
Eden.
something?
The way to
The way
Eden.
to
That's
Oh
it.
Eden.
my, that's might be my least favorite episode.
Yeah,
of
that
the
is
whole
definitely
series.
my most disliked episode. Yeah.
I'm gonna crack my knuckles and jump for joy. I got a clean bill of
Right.
health for Dr. McCoy.
Right. Are
Oh,
you
it
a
was so
Herbert? It's
horrible.
like, oh my goodness. And the reason why
It's
it's so bad because it's so dated the show the 1960s. It was like it was a big mistake. The whole
exactly what
episode.
blows my mind is every time I watch that episode, I think this writer one thing, he really hated hippies. Like he
Yeah.
hated hippies with a
Well,
pathological passion. He hated hippies, right?
you
It
know,
was so funny.
the worst part of that episode is Spock identifies with them.
And
Yeah.
he plays this, what's his
The liar,
flute?
the Vulcan
Yeah.
liar.
Oh God, yeah, that's the one episode I just in season 3 where I want to bang my head against the wall. I
Yeah.
really do.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
just
you know
so
what?
bad.
You're gonna get some like that in anything, but
It
those are
happens.
we can laugh at them.
Well, right.
But
Think about this.
again,
It's like, right, and it's gold compared to what we're getting now. So I'll tolerate it now.
exactly, yeah,
That's the
and we can
saddest thing.
still.
It's still better
Yeah,
than
and we can
anything
still,
get
and I think I
over
said this on
or
Clobber and
Picard.
Times channel, where because they were reviewing DS9 stuff, and they were giving some episode an F, and I remember I said, like, you know what? Even with these episodes that were a fail, we can still have interesting discussions about them, about the things that were explored in those episodes. You can still have nerd discussions or philosophical discussions about them,
Right.
even if the episode itself sucked. And you can't do that about Pew Card.
Nope.
Exactly.
Nope.
Well, I usually go on Saturday Night Trek on Clobby's channel, right, to
Yeah.
give my reviews of the 4 episodes of the week. And man, like last week, I think there was one good one with the Klingons, and the other 3 completely
Oh yeah,
sucked.
they shit
Yeah.
on everything.
Oh, Raquel tore those last 3 episodes a new one, right? It was
Oh, she
really,
did.
it
Yeah.
was nasty.
But
And I
even with
agree,
those
but
fails, like you can have a very good discussion about what the good parts of it were. Even if you give it a
that was
fail,
the
you can
thing.
still
I
have.
mean, there
Yeah,
were
I'd
good
like to.
parts to even those horrible episodes, right?
Yeah, I'd
So
like to
Yeah.
mention that. I'd like to mention that Jim says I asked Jill to be in my fan films, and she said yes, but then she changed her mind.
That's up.
Sorry to hear that,
Sucks.
Jim. Frack them, says Jim.
Frack them.
But I have
like
to say,
sounds like
I
a
have to say,
Farscape
but I
customer.
have to say, in my defense, I used to be a sub on Doomcock's channel until he singled me out and attacked me. And I used to be a sub on Clawby's channel until Raquel singled me out and attacked me. And then she told Clawby to block me. So before that, I was
I remember you.
I was a fan back then.
I remember you saying that like probably a month ago, and that's really sad. Paul.
No, it was several months. No, what happened was the Orville was on, and I didn't like the third season. And every time I said I didn't like it, people were attacking me left and right.
Well,
And Clawby and Raquel was hold on, let me finish. Let me finish. Hold on. The third season, I didn't like it, and every time I said I didn't like it, people attacked me. And
sucks.
On Clawby and Raquel's channel, they were covering it, and Raquel said she didn't like it. And all I said was my biggest mistake, which I still regret, I guess, is that I don't understand it, because when you guys say you don't like it, I said I get attacked when I do it. You guys don't. And then Raquel just started saying a bunch of horrible things about me and making up a bunch of lies. And she went on for like a half hour. And I'll never, ever understand why. And she told Clawby to block
really
me.
Bad.
And then I remember afterwards, Jill said, well, try talking to Clawby on Twitter. Try apologizing. And I looked him up. He had already blocked me on Twitter, even though I had never spoken to him on Twitter before. So, yeah, sometimes you can be treated unfairly by people who think that they're intelligent.
You know what? I don't want to talk about this.
All I said was, I don't understand, because when I don't like the show, people attack me. That's all I said. I never said anything about her, about him, about their channel. But it doesn't matter, because she just started making up a whole bunch of shit about me and lies. And she went on for over 30 minutes.
That's crazy.
I'll never, ever forget that. Yeah, I know she's like a goddess and a wonderful angel in front of other people's eyes, and just like with Doomcock, just wait till you're under the firing line. It'll change.
I would like to talk about this with you after we finish the public stream, Pop, because I have some thoughts, but I don't want to put it out on public here.
It's all right. I don't care, because I'm not. Now think about this. Before anybody tries to say anything about me, I'm not attacking either of them personally. I did not say, they're dumb, they're fat, they're ugly, they're stupid. I didn't say anything like that. All I ever do is talk about my personal experience, the way I was treated. I think
we always talk about our
no personal attacks right. That's the problem, is you have people that, which I don't do, is I don't the last thing I do is I don't single out people that I don't know and then criticize them, especially when I don't know them. And that's what they did to me. But all I do is say, this is the way I was treated. I'm not criticizing any of them personally about how they look or their names or anything about them. I'm just talking about how I was treated. That's it.
Yeah, I agree. I would never attack anybody on anything, because I think it's always, this is one reason I come on YouTube, is because I can relax, I can hang out, I can have fun with my friends here. And I don't have any interest in disagreeing or arguing with anybody. It's like, if you don't like what I like, that's great. Power to you. But I'm not going to spend 10 minutes.
Why the personal attacks? Yeah, I will not. It's the personal attacks. I have no toleration for. Right, that's what I don't tolerate, and that's what they did to me. That's what Doomcock did, and that's what Raquel did, and I don't know why. Neither of them know me. Neither of them know me, but they called me every name in the book. And Doomcock even sent Gary Ambrosia and what's his name, Cardinal Sin, after me, and they were attacking me for days on YouTube, calling me effing retard and motherfucking and all that. I'm like, my God.
I don't remember hearing any of this.
Of course not.
That's horrible, man.
Of course not. You know why? You know why? You know what mistake I made on Doomcock? Is I said, I don't understand it. I understand. I said exactly that. I go, you're upset with Disney. I'm just sitting. You're upset with Paramount because the way they treat Star Trek, which I agree with. But what I don't understand is why do you still favor Star Wars and Disney with what they've done with Star Wars? I said, that's what I don't understand. And oh my God, that's when they started attacking me. They never gave me an answer. They never told me why. They just started attacking me and calling me names just for asking a question.
That's really sad.
And that's why I have not been on this channel since. And I was a sub, and I used to leave super chats, even though I couldn't afford it. I was a sub. I was there on all his live streams, but I made the mistake of saying, well, if you don't like Star Trek, then why do you still support Star Wars? And that was my mistake right there. Because, like I said,
I've
I never
seen
got an answer to the question. I never got the answer. I just got attacked.
no, I've seen him react very strongly, kind of like what you're talking about when people ask him about that, and he does explain it. I don't necessarily agree with the explanation, but every time I've seen him where it'll trigger him in a way. It's like he gets on a rant, and at the end he always says or tries to pedal it back a little bit and go, I don't
Or
mean to attack
if he
you
has an audience,
personally.
no, right. Well, the thing is, if he has an audience and people are listening, he'll realize what he's doing and he'll back up. But no, they went
Yeah.
after me on Twitter. So they had no audience. That's why you guys haven't heard of this. They went after me on Twitter.
Well,
Yeah,
who-
that's
who's
really sad.
yeah, that
Yeah,
I don't
like
get.
Gary
Like that.
Ambrosia, I never knew who he was until he started messaging me and calling me a bunch of names.
Well,
Where are you talking to
really,
Doomcock? Why are you asking him questions, you MF and retard and all that? I'm like, what? Who are you? All I kept asking, like Ambrosia and Cardinal Sin. I said, who are you? I've never spoken to you before. I don't understand. And just cuss word, insult, MF, retard. That's all that happened. For days.
Can I put in what my observation, Pop?
Sure.
Yeah, I think that's extremely sad because, Gary's the guy. His wife has the bunny rescue mission, right? And
whatever.
No, his wife rescues like bunny rabbits that are in peril of dying.
Yeah, I'm sure Hitler probably had a pet too, huh?
But no, I think his wife does really good. I don't want to drag. I think his wife is a good heart and soul, and she does help little creatures, right? And the thing is, every time I've ever, it's very few times, Pop, but the few times, I've chatted with Gary, like on Doomcock streams, it's always been civil. And it's sad.
It's an audience, of course. Yeah, if there's an audience of people watching, I'm sure.
Guy, and that's very... No, I just think it's very disheartening that he attacked you on Twitter. I think that sucks.
Yeah.
Definitely takes him down a lot of notches in my book.
Well, it happened.
Yeah.
And all I kept saying to them, and by the way, I never,
sorry to hear
between him and Cardinal, I never called them a name back. I never cuss out people. I never call them names. But they kept calling me names for days. And I remember I got to the point where I said, why are you guys doing this? What is this? And then Doomcock, after like 2-3 days, said to everybody on Twitter, look at him, how pathetic. Look at him, he's still defending himself. And then he started going after me again.
Well,
I was like, oh my God.
That's what?
Yeah, he called me pathetic and all that because I was defending myself. Even though the only thing I said to those guys the whole time is I was saying, I don't know who you are. What are you doing this for? We've never spoken before. Why are you doing this?
That's fucked up, man. I just want to
That's why whenever I hear people going on about how wonderful these people are, it makes my skin crawl.
Well, the sad thing is everybody's got two sides to their personality, right, Pop?
Well, they do.
And a lot of the time we like to, show our positive side, but unfortunately sometimes people show their shitty negative side.
Or the Gray's got it completely right. I avoid Twitter because of stuff like that. That's exactly right.
Yeah, I that's one reason I don't do much on Twitter other than to say hi.
Yeah, in fact, last week somebody posted something about Gary Ambrosia saying something about he has a video, watch it. And I made the mistake of saying I would, but I won't because he attacked me. And guess what? He sent people after me, and then the tirade started and the cuss words.
If I get Twitter,
somebody named Masterson or something like that started going after me. I'm like, what is this now? Who are you? That's it. Yeah. He started going after me, calling me names. I said, who are you? I never was even talking to you, but it didn't matter.
That's fucked up. That makes me really sad.
Was this all public? Was this all public, Pop?
Public Twitter, yes.
Guys, what makes you really sad is how divided and fucked up.
Yeah, because Jill messaged me and says, why are you attacking my friends? I'm like, huh?
Really? Jill said that?
Jill said that. Are you all right? Why are you attacking my friends?
I'm becoming very disillusioned with some people in this community, I gotta say.
And I never called anybody
that's why I stay off of shit on Twitter.
This
I never called anybody a single cuss
Anyway,
word.
I gotta take a break for a minute, but I'll be back in like 2 minutes.
Hold on, PvP. Hold on. I'm gonna call it a night because I need to eat some dinner.
Oh shit.
So
Okay.
and I'm sorry to be so abrupt, but thank you guys for being
Yeah,
here. Thank you,
I
Sean.
gotta end it because I need dinner too.
And everybody in the chat, Jim and Ola Greg and everybody, Deej, thank you for being here, guys. But yeah, have a great night. I need to and let my dogs out too, by the way. They're killing me.
Okay.
So have a great night, you guys. Thank you, everybody. I'm
Okay.
so sorry.
That's okay. Good night, everybody.
Take care.
All right.
Not all.
Night.
Bye-bye, everyone.